You are now listening to the Old Head, New Head podcast with your hosts, Eric Iberg and Ethan Schaefer.
Goddamn kids.
Shut up, old man!
Back in his man.
What up?
How are you today?
Good. I'm back in the van, but I'm in a spot with better. I'm actually just outside of Wynn's place, so I'm on the better internet. I'm waiting for him to open his shop. We're starting early today. OSAP Berg wanted the early start time, so that's what he's getting.
All right, man. Yeah, it's pretty. I don't have all the coffee out of me and my water and stuff, so I might have to take a pee break earlier than normal.
All right. Iberg almost missed the show. A little time zone confusion.
Yeah, I just been on the goddamn phone for the last 4 hours. Didn't add it up properly.
And the time zones are different because you're coming to us from
Excelsior, Minnesota, the garage, as usual.
in the garage. I'm in Welch's, Oregon. It's this is actually working out perfect. It's K2 week here, and Joss is on K2. So I chatted with him last night, and we will be all good to go coming up. We will be having Joss on the show. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know how to turn notification things off on my computer, so
yeah, you're good. What you smoking on there?
fuck, give thanks. Big thanks to the ganja farmer, Ross Jacob, over at where we had Dark Horse Farms. As always, supplying me with my smoke, my THC and CBD needs. He can hook you guys up too. And then always big up Trey Blazy over at Blazy Susan, allowing me to wrap my doobies up and smoke them.
Beautiful. And the family's gone. Where'd the family run off to?
Family went to Denmark 5 weeks.
That's big.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever been, I haven't been away from my family that long.
Iberg's gonna get like 20 projects done in the next 5 weeks.
Dude, we're going to get like 100. I had 20 already. This is I start talking on the phone now at like 5 in the morning. I can go until like 10 at night till I'm exhausted, pass out, and keep going. So fun.
And the 40.
Yeah, I bought it last night. Lucky I did. I would have been totally behind and not had one.
Yeah. Word. So, who do we have today?
Fucking Big Bad Owen. I hear he has a nickname in the ski world.
They call him OSAP.
OSAP. What's his last name?
Dahlberg. Owen Dahlberg.
Why is he OSAP, man?
It's like
ASAP Rocky?
Yeah, like ASAP Ferg. He's OSAP Berg.
What? Dope.
You like that, right?
So you know Owen.
I've known Owen for a while now. Owen was one of the first 10 episodes of Two Planker podcast. So
damn, why did you, and you're on episode 100 and some, right?
I'm coming up on episode 100, yeah.
Big thing. So why, if he was so early, why did you interview him back then?
He had already put out Magma at that point, and at that point I didn't know many people in the ski industry, so I thought the best way to meet athletes would be through their filmers and through their support people. And Owen was already filming so many different projects at the time, so I was like, oh, this will be perfect. This guy knows everyone, and he's sick himself, so it's 2 for 1. And then ever since then, we've just been friends because he's 25 or 26 now as well. And yeah, that's just how it goes.
So what makes Owen dope to you? Why do you think he should be on? What's your view on it?
Because Owen just doesn't stop creating, dude. It's another person that just is relentless with how much stuff they're putting out. He has the Magma crew, obviously, and then he's getting hired as a filmer for other companies. He's filming other crews just because he's friends with them. So he's filming a dozen different crews throughout the season. And on top of that, he's making his own magazine.
Yeah, that's where I became a super fan when I found that out. I don't know much about him. I saw him. I originally saw him wearing an inspired hoodie in a Magma. Yeah. And then I was like, what? You the illest. And so I figured out who he was from that shot in the Magma. Is like some clip where they were in a house or something in Salt Lake, and then figured out who he was. I was like, yo, can I send you a sweatshirt? I don't even know if I did. I'll ask him, see if I'm a dick. But yeah, hit him up and then whatever. And then I was like, wow, man, that's sick. Like, you're filming, you're doing something, like you're still buying this brand that doesn't exist for the last like 6-7 years. Like, so I talked to him a little there, and then I saw that he did the magazine, the browser. And it was just like, man, like, if you were ever to ask anyone in the print industry, especially the ski print industry, like, it's just like, it's like the kid that made Scards. It's like one of these ideas where I'm black and white, and from experience in the past, is the worst idea ever. And the fact that he went out and did it and isn't thinking like an old head why it will fail, and he's only thinking why it should work, I'm a fan. Because I love when things shouldn't work and they doesn't really make sense in a place, and then some youth does it. So I'm a super fan of Owen. I'm stoked to hear how he ticks, what his thoughts are, and what he's doing.
Yeah. We will, let's send him the invite link. It's funny because I went to visit my friend on the Oregon coast this weekend. Shout out that young ski bum. And I think Owen's actually with him now. So we just traded places. Send the link to Owen. He should
Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yep.
That was Twins. Trading Places is another movie.
Yeah, I'm almost all the way through the second issue of Browser. I still have to read the Jojo Chaprari feature, but I've read most of this so far. Here we go.
OSAP Berg.
Connecting to audio. He's in Ryan's RV.
Little early, eh?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, what up?
What up?
Dude, this is too funny. I could already recognize that you're in Ryan's RV.
You know it. Yeah.
You just on the coast surfing?
Alice. Yeah, been surfing. Yesterday was super fun.
Yeah.
Nice and sunny. Today's kind of like rainy, but still should be fun.
Yeah, did you got some clouds?
Our location is so ghettoly awesome. We got an RV, a van, and a garage.
Yeah.
This is high budget production right here.
High budget.
Have you two met before?
Not in real life. Just
not in real life, but yeah, we were talking the other day. How's it going, Eric?
Awesome. Yourself?
Good, man. Real good.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Don't think we talked without camera, no?
No. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Word. Iberg, you want to give him the little rundown on what we're doing and why he's here?
So kind of first of all, like, you're our only non-ski guest of this whole season as far as people. So wanted to create the show, this New Head, Old Head podcast, because I got to do a show with Ethan on Two Plank Podcast earlier this year. And I was like, man, I like really don't understand what the youth are up to, and it makes sense because I'm 44, right? So it's just, when I did it, I was like, man, I would love to learn more, like why all the younger guys do what they do, what their goals are. Maybe we can have great conversations with those guys because of the older people I've worked with and different directions. And then with the old heads, it was kind of an idea, like we can sit down and talk with them and tell people about this crazy, unique path that they took, and then tell their story. So the point of the podcast is, it's not just about winning. There's like, everyone will have a different lane in which they created in our awesome sport. And I just want to tell all these stories and then, I don't know, see what we can come up with. But yeah, so the goal is you've impressed the shit out of me as a fan. I'm a fan of you. And so, like, whether it's for what you're doing as filming, like putting together movie edits, and now especially with your magazine, it's just, you have that, from outside looking in, you have a do more attitude. And so I just wanted to hear, there's not a lot of you in your generation that's do more and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be really awesome to have you on the show and see what your thoughts are and why you do what you do.
Sick. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be on here talking to you guys about just stuff. Yeah, super stoked.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for being on it. So just so you know, the average show is 4 hours long. I hope you have battery.
Let's go.
And Iberg, I'll say this: Owen is the most frequented guest on the Two Planker feed. He's been on my show. Yeah, dude, you've been on for your episode, the Mill Bastards episode, the Soul Star episode, and then Ryan's podcast. So this will now be the 5th podcast that you're on the Two Planker.
But I'm saying, man, do more.
I love talking with the people, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. So, could you please give us the origin of the OSAP Berg nickname? Because we were just going over that before this.
The origin of the OSAP Berg nickname. Yeah, that was it was my good buddy Kai growing up in Durango. I don't know, we were just like fucking around and trying to come up with rap names, and he came up with like the spin-off of ASAP Rocky, and he's like, dude, you're OSAP Berg. And I was like, oh, that's kind of hard. And then I don't know, it never really was anything. And then when I finally made an Instagram, I was just like, oh, I'll just do OSAP. And then that was like my first Instagram name, never changed it, and then just ran with that. But yeah, there's no real big story to it, just besides it like just being a funny rap name.
It's fun. Instagram made everyone become like a rapper. They all had to pick a name.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you can be your own name.
Yeah. It's stuck with me for a while now. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Iberg, I'm gonna let you do the early days, because I know Owen's story, so I want to hear which angle you take.
Okay, I know nothing, Owen. So I guess, where are you from originally, Owen?
Originally, I grew up in Durango, Colorado.
Okay, yeah. And then were you in Colorado your whole life?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, grew up in Durango, moved to Steamboat Springs for college, met a bunch of good homies up there, and then once I got a job at Wendell's, that's when I made the move to Salt Lake, and then been posted up there ever since.
So let's talk Durango, because I never get to talk to anyone from Durango. It seems like a place where some reggae hippies should live, and I know nothing about it. So you're 26?
Yeah, 27.
Okay, so how did you get into? Is everyone skis in Durango, or this is Western Colorado, right?
Yeah, Southwest Colorado. It's an old mining town, but yeah, skiing's huge there. And yeah, I grew up skiing. Like, both my mom and my dad are big skiers. My mom was like a ski racer. My dad was a patroller. So they got me into it at a young age. So I just grew up just naturally loving skiing and just being stoked about it, going up with my friends and stuff.
Did you get to organize skiing, like racing or freestyle or any of this stuff?
I did a little bit of racing, but nothing serious. I think I did like 2 races, like legit. So I don't know. I wasn't super into ski racing. I tried doing the moguls, because the moguls were pretty big at like my home resort, and a bunch of my friends were doing that. But I never was like really hyped on the moguls. But I did do 2 years of like just I was like in this freestyle program with a bunch of friends, and yeah, got coached. But I do remember like this one day like sticking out where like doing the comps were fun, but I mainly just liked ripping around with my friends. But yeah, one day it was like a big pow day on one of the comps, and I was like, dude, I'm going to ski pow. Like, fuck.
This was a mogul contest
right now. So that's when I realized, I was like, maybe comp skiing's not my thing.
When you say comp, this was a mogul contest?
No, this was freestyle contest.
Like a slope style event or something?
Yeah, just like a slope style. There's like 2 jumps and 2 rails line in Durango. Purgatory Mountain Resort was like the resort I would go to all the time.
So were you addicted to like freestyle, like watching it or looking at magazines or anything like this as a kid before you went to Steamboat?
Yeah, for sure. Like, grew up, my mom was like managing a ski shop and when I was in high school. So like one of my first jobs I got was working in a ski shop. So I loved being just around that, like, I don't know, mounting skis, but they would always get the free skiers in the shop, and I would always steal them. And I was so hyped on like free skiers and stuff. And then also too, they had like the big stack of movies they would just play in the shop, and I would always just start picking out of that stack and stealing all like the old ones and stuff, and just binge watching content. I just loved ski movies so much, like just endless.
What was your shit when you were a kid? If you were taking so I'm guessing this is like mid 2010s?
Yeah, 2010. Yeah, when I was like early high school. Mm-hmm.
So what was your shit then? Like, what was the movies that you saw that like were like, no way, this is
like
awesome?
Yeah, I guess the big one for me was the Level 1 Refresh. That one was like, I don't know why, just like the soundtrack in that one just hit me so hard, and I was like, what the fuck? And like the voiceovers with Warren Miller too, I thought were
That was
like
my favorite Level 1 movie of all time.
Yeah, like that video, I don't know why, just they did it so well, and all the riders too, like just all the goats are in that video, and some of the best skiing too. It's just, yeah, it's top notch. I still watch that video today, and I'm like, dude, you can't beat this one. Like,
did you ever go to a movie premiere in Durango as a kid?
Yeah, they would hold classic, they'd do the Warren Miller stop and always go to that. I love the premieres. And then the Poor Boys did a couple stops in Durango. I remember watching I went to the Grand Bazaar premiere, and that one too. That was another one that really like stuck with me. It was Grand Bazaar, and then what was iTrip was the same year as that one, I think, with Level 1. And there's a premiere for that one. So yeah, the young age was just loved going to like premieres and just being around skiing and watching good ski videos. It was always a passion of mine.
Did you have a favorite skier in the videos or on anywhere in the sport?
Dude, that's such a tough question for me, because I don't know. There's so many good skiers that I like. But I guess back then I was a huge Phil Casaubon fan. Like, Phil was definitely my number one favorite. He was.
Now you're doing the show right after him.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about that. But yeah, he still is the best.
So you were pretty much mostly into the sport and the movies.
Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't have the pedestal like person, like it wasn't like, because a lot of kids had that superhuman, like you guys are the borderline generation where there wasn't the next people that are a little younger. I don't know if they have a superhuman character where they're like, oh my God, he's a god,
Yeah, for sure. I feel like kids have lost that now because of, I don't know, Instagram and everything. And there's not as many premieres. Yeah, there's no like the superhuman aspect of like, looking up to someone like they're a god kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, it's they were untouchable, It's like now everyone, you're OSAP. Just like B-Dog's B-Dog, you know what I mean? Before Instagram, you didn't have a dope ass nickname that the world who didn't know you knew you as.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty wild.
That is crazy.
So you're watching these movies, you're just stoked on it. Like you finish up high school, you're not super into like competing or anything, but you still love skiing. Why do you go to Steamboat for college?
Yeah, like pretty much I was like so over school after high school. I didn't want to really go to college. I was just like, I'm cooked. I don't know. Just not I don't really fit in the whole society, school norms of learning and stuff. I don't know. But yeah, my parents were like, you gotta at least go to school for a year. And I was like, all right. So I picked Steamboat because it was the closest school that was to like a ski resort. Like you could be on campus and drive 5 minutes and be at a ski resort. And I was like, that's pretty sick. I'm gonna go there. Went there and then just fell in love with Steamboat. But that's when I moved to Steamboat, though, is really when I started getting into filming, because I was like dabbling with it in high school, like making some just goofy videos with my friends. But once I moved to Steamboat, I really started like thinking about trying to make like a good ski video.
So the goofy edits with your friends, were they ski edits?
Yeah, I think like the first edit I made, we made like it was a urban ski blade edit with a GoPro. like me and my buddies like all got ski blades, and we just were like going around town like just jumping off anything. And we just had a GoPro, just doing shit like that when I was younger.
So did you upload this? Can I watch it somewhere?
Dude, we put it, my buddy uploaded it onto his YouTube. I might be able to find it. It might be
when you were making these edits in high school, were you only doing it as a fun thing with your crew, or were you thinking, let's upload this and get people to see it and like it, or was it only just for you and your friends because it was fun?
Yeah, literally only just for me and my friends, and just because it was fun. And I don't know, I like putting songs over like tracks over like skiing. I don't know, I find big enjoyment out of that. And there wasn't no like thought of like, oh yeah, we gotta like get views. Not until the later years when I really started being like, oh, like gotta get video of the day on New Schoolers and stuff like that. Like that was definitely a big goal of mine when I was younger. I remember then that was like such a big thing, like you got video of the day. But no, just kind of fucking around just because it's fun. It's always a good time with your friends making stupid videos.
So when you go to Steamboat, you have a one year and done kind of mentality. And now, did you leave your crew that you were filming with, like whatever friends you made these fun videos with?
In Durango, yeah, because it was just like all my high school buddies, and then moved up to Steamboat. But then really found like my crew kind of was like all these guys. We made like this crew called the Steam Boys, which actually they already established it before I even was there. But it was just like a bunch of good homies in Steamboat. And then I showed up and was like super hungry and just like, yo, let me make a video. Let me film you guys. Let me film a video. And they were like,
were they college kids?
Yeah, college kids. Yeah. Just all these kids I met at the CMC at Steamboat. Then I was just bugging them to film. And then we all ended up becoming really good buddies. And I started making a bunch of videos with them that I'm still, to this day, I love the videos I made with those guys. But that's when I really started being like, thinking about like the editing process more instead of just like throwing a track on to whatever. I was really thinking about like, okay, that's when.
How
also
were you making an edit back then? Were kids? So this is what year do you think this is?
This would be like 2017, 2018.
Okay, so your young crew, 2017, 18. Are kids like, yo, I got to get the dopest segment? I want to like, or are you all just skiing together when you make a movie / edit? Or I'm curious because then I've noticed this has been a huge thing in the last 6 years where most kids now would rather be in a group movie than to have an individual segment. And it's just transformed however the world shifts. But I'm curious, I think you were probably part of this huge transition phase.
Yeah.
But how was it then? Did you have kids that could all of a sudden become a pro, or was everyone just having fun and when they graduated college, they were getting a real job?
Yeah, it was a lot of just having fun. Like, I don't think any of us really thought of, like, none of them really even thought about the videos that hard like I did. I was definitely the main one, just being like, driving the force behind everyone. Everyone's just skiing and having fun, and I'm just pointing a camera at them. But there was one guy up there that I met, Robbie Brown. He still is one of my favorite skiers to this day, and he's just so good. And so after just watching him ski so much, I was like, dude, I got to get as much footage as possible with this guy, because he's one of those dudes, like, you see his style and like his trick selection, and it's like infectious. Like, he's just so sick, and you want to you want to be a part of it kind of thing. So he was like filming with him, he was a little more serious about it too, because like he was trying to like kind of make it in skiing a little more than all the other guys. So me and him like worked on like personal projects, just him like solo like park edits, but we only made like one like movie per se when I was there. It was called Theories of the New Wave. And it was a big compilation style video. Like no, there was no segments. It was just like everyone's shots just over, kind of just to like portray I was really trying to portray the vibe that we had while filming it, just us going around and fucking around pretty much is like the gist of it.
What do you do with that video? Do you just upload it, or do you like?
Yeah, that one I uploaded it to my Vimeo. Yeah.
Since you're part of this, are you part of a ski club, or is this your own little crew?
Yeah, this is just our own little crew. Yeah, no ski club, no real corporate affiliations,
But what is Steamboat scene like for freestyle and twin tips? Like, is there a freestyle team in the scene? Is any kids moving there to become a pro? Like, what is it like from the inside?
It's pretty mediocre, I would say.
Okay,
but
it's moguls back in the day. It was like an iconic place. Like,
they had that huge mogul track. Like, it's still there. Their park was super nice back in the day. Like when I first moved there in 2016, it was like really sick. And like I saw a bunch of older videos, and the park looked amazing. But then it slowly kind of like started trickling back. I don't know. Steamboat, like upper management, kind of doesn't care about the park as much there, like they do, but they don't. It's like it's a family mountain, and so they're not trying to
ski with Billy the Kid.
Yeah, I never skied with him, but I did see him on hill one time. He was the legend, dude.
Fuck yeah, he is.
Yeah, Billy the Kid, dude. Yeah.
Just gave his pro models away. Otherwise, I would have dug them out.
You have one of his pro models?
He had pro models for 4 years with hard skis in the 70s.
Yeah.
So, like, dude, he had so many things with Billy Kid on his fucking thing. Like on the hard ski, yeah. And so every time I'd be like at a Goodwill or DI, I'd just fucking buy him for $10. Then I get gifts now.
That's sick.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm all stoked on Steamboat. I got to spend a lot of time there at the beginning, like from moguls. And I mean, Johnny Mosley held his first Johnny Mosley Invitational there.
Yeah. Yeah. So like there's definitely a lot of like history and freestyle there for sure. And it still is like the park they're still killing it up there. And there is a freestyle team under Hollison Hill that it's like the smaller where they have the big ski jump.
Yep.
They have like that mega ski jump in town. There's a freestyle team under like that stuff, and like they do shit like that. But no, the Steam Boys were just a stony crew that we put together out of a bunch of college kids,
So how long did you last in Steamboat?
So I finished out the 1 year in school, and I was stoked about that. Made it through barely, but then I was like, I'm done with school. I made my parents' fulfillment 1 year, but then after that, I was like, I'm jumping in, because my parents were like, well, if you're not going to do school, like you got to do something. And I was like, all right. So I just went full force into filming and trying to make that happen. So I did.
How do you do this?
Pretty much. So I did the first year at school, and then I stayed there for another 2 years after that. And I just tried to, because I wasn't very good back then at filming and editing, really. I'm still figuring it out kind of thing. So I just was like, all right, I'm going to try to get really good at editing and filming. So I just tried to make just so many videos. Like that's all I did, just try to make videos. And then the summer of 2019, I got a job as intern at Woodward at Copper for the summer camp. And that's kind of when it would like started like, okay, now I can do the summer camp, learn some more stuff. Like those guys there taught me so much shit. Did that, and that's really when it kind of started ramping up for me when I got that job, because then the next summer I got the job at Wendell's, and then that was
you
really
meet a bunch of people. So because this is what I'm interested, because you kind of ended up with the biggest crew, you know, like, and so now you go to Woodward. So this is, you're with your homies at college for a year, and you get this internship to be a camera guy at Summer Woodward Copper. Like, do you network? Do you meet a bunch of super pros? Like, do you become friends with people that are vital to, like, actually, other than your skill set of filming and editing, that make a difference?
Yeah, totally. Like that's like pretty much like half of why, you know, like the summer camps, just being there, you know, there's always so many fluctuate of people coming through and stuff. So yeah, I got to meet just so many new people and new skiers and some super pros and stuff. Not as many at Copper for sure. That year was like mellow, but that's like where I met Lupe for the first time, was at Woodward at Copper, and me and him connected super hard. And, you know, it's sick to see like where me and him have gone with our stuff. And then, yeah, when I was at Wendell's, though, that was really like the superstar, like, all right, I'm with the legends now, you know, kind of thing.
That's what you did your second summer.
Yeah, the next summer after Woodward, I went to Wendell's. And that was
summer 2020?
So, yeah, this is now 2020.
It's COVID. Add summer camps.
No, it's the year before COVID. So,
okay.
2019, I was at Hood. So, 2018, I was in Copper, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, 2019, because it was the last year too. They did the session recaps, so I was hyped to be a part of at least a little bit of those session recaps for 1 year, and that was so fun. That was one of the best summers of my life up at Wendell's, just meeting everyone, and then that's where I also met Hunter and Alex. So it's funny to see, like, you know, these connections I made at those summer camps with those jobs, and now turned into what I'm doing now. So I have like everything.
Were Hunter and Alex, were they big 2019? Did Alex just win something that winter? Was that his first?
Alex was definitely, I remember he was like, he wasn't like full superstar mode yet, but he definitely was pretty big.
But did he win X Games at that time?
No, I don't think. I'm not sure. I don't think he won an X Games yet.
Okay.
At that point, maybe I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
No, I'm just interested, like, where you meet your crew. You know, like,
yeah,
established or not established, and that kind of reasons.
For sure. Yeah, no, I remember like I didn't really know Hunter at all until I met him there. Like I saw a couple of his videos and his stuff from last summer, like before that summer, but then yeah, I remember I didn't really know Hunter at all, and then met him and was like, damn, he's such a beast of a skier. Like,
are these guys the same age as you?
I'm actually older than both of them by a year. Okay. Or Alex is 25.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting, but just like funny. But yeah, that was a good summer. Meeting all like the bunch dudes and stuff was like such a highlight for me, because those guys were going crazy that summer. Because that was when they filmed ON3P4 or ON3P3. Yeah, ON3P3, the summer video.
So where are you at now? You got like, you decide to go hard. You got these intern at Copper, and now you're Wendell's. Like, are you just, you got to be better at editing? Like, what's your plan here now at just 2 summer camps, because there's winter time as well? What the fuck did you do in winter times?
So like when I went to Woodward at Copper, I met Lupe, and then that's when Lupe that winter he asked me, he was like, yo man, like I'm making a street video, like you want to help? And I was like, fuck yeah, like I'm super down, like this is what I want to do. So I helped Lupe that next winter.
So what do you do when you do this and you're a cameraman now and you're hired first time, you meet a professional skier, you're going to do an edit? Are you getting paid a salary? Are you living at home? Are you traveling all the time? Or what is your time commitment to being a cameraman for Lupe your first winter?
Yeah, so I was still working like full time. I had a job at Slopestyle in Breckenridge. Yeah, I was working there full time and just still doing the full time work job, but then trying to devote any of my free time to we'd hit a lot of night spots, after work go
So
there.
Lupe was in Colorado.
Yeah, he was in Summit County in Colorado. So after Woodward at Copper, I stayed in Summit that next winter and just was like, I'm gonna chill down here. But still bounced up to Steamboat a bunch. But yeah, mainly was working in Summit County in Breckenridge, living in Breck. And did that and just working full time. And then even when I moved out to Salt Lake, I was like maybe the most down bad I've been, just because I moved out to Salt Lake just with enough money to like put down a security deposit in like a place. But I didn't have enough for like rents next month's rent. So I just went down there, put it down, got a place, and then just started working, got 2 jobs and just was hustling.
So you did that when, after Wendell's or before?
Salt Lake. I after Wendell's, I moved to Salt Lake that next winter.
And why?
I was already like pretty over the scene in Breck. I don't know. I loved like working at Slopestyle and like skiing there, but like just the scene out there, I don't know. I wasn't super stoked on just how blown it was. Just it gets so blown out with tourists and stuff,
Okay. So
I was already
ski because there's no parking, no lodging, and it's like $1 billion to live.
Yeah, I was just the living price, everything. It's just blown. So I was already thinking like, all right, I got to get out of here. And then I met Goose, Christian Ragoose, the photographer. He was working at Wendell's as well, and he was actually the one who was like, "Dude, move to Salt Lake. It's sick." And I was like, really, should I? And then I went and visited him and I was like, I'm moving out, like fuck it. So that's kind of Goose. I owe it to Goose for getting me out to Salt Lake for sure.
So you did this solo. You didn't even move in with someone. You just were like, fuck it, I'm gonna go rent a place by myself.
I did. I had a buddy with me. My good buddy Christian Shackelford, who lived in Summit County. He was also on the same vibe as me. He was like, look,
Starlink. He's on Starlink. Love to see.
It's the weed, man. Right when he started smoking weed.
We'll give a sec. He'll be back on. OSAP, you're back.
Dude, I don't know what just happened.
Dude, you got Starlinked.
I got ski bum Starlinked.
The weed interfered, man. Right when you started smoking, it was over.
Oh, that's hella funny.
All right, sorry about that.
You are all good. I forget where we left off though. Broke as a joke. Gooser's telling
Salt Lake City, a friend.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So super broke.
Roosters in the background.
Out on the farm right now, but yeah.
All right, you can keep going. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So where was I? I was moved to Salt Lake in just the shittiest 1-bedroom apartment. My buddy Christian Shackelford, and then just living in the dumps pretty much. But that winter was so fun just because it was like I was doing.
What's the goal when you move out there? Not knowing how you're paying for stuff, and then you get, what are your 2 jobs that you get first of all?
So I was working. I worked at the first job I got out there. At first I just started door dashing because I didn't want to get a real job. And I feel like that's what every kid does when they don't want to get a real job. They'll just DoorDash. Did that, but then realized it's just not sustainable. So then I got a job working at California Pizza Kitchen, being a pizza cook. And then I'd DoorDash too on the weekends when I wasn't working to make some more money.
What was your favorite CPK pizza? Because I love CPK.
You love CPK? Dude, the Thai one. The barbecue chicken is pretty all time. The Thai one though with the peanut sauce, that one
Yes, dude.
crazy hard. Or the Sicilian. I always loved the Sicilian too.
Yeah.
So when you
Owen's got funny eating habits, so we can get to that at some point.
we will. When you change states, it's a big move, right? Now you moved out of Colorado, you're out of this kind of like next level of security thing of growing up, and you get two jobs. Like, do you have any goals in skiing? You got better at editing, you met a bunch of people, and like you have to do this job, but is it like winter's coming, I'm going to stack clips and edit some more stuff, or do you have a project that you dream of yet at this point?
Yeah, so I was definitely like at that point, I didn't make any like full length films really. Like I made that one with the Steamboys, but I was just fucking around, and then I would help Lupe with like his like full like solo parts, but I never have made like a full like ski movie with 15 riders and kind of vibe. And that was like my main goal really when I was moving out there. I was like, dude, I want to make a movie. Like I want to make something big. I don't want to just make these little edits anymore. So me and Goose, Christian for Goose, over the summer we're kind of plotting on this idea because he's a big photographer, and he was like, dude, we should make like a photo book with a movie kind of vibe, like to have something that people can look at after they watch the movie. And I was like, I loved the idea of that just because of like, as you know now, I'm a big fan of tangible things that you can hold on to. And so that's when me and Goose decided to film Human Error. So that first winter when I was in Salt Lake, I filmed this movie, Human Error.
So how do you make a movie? So you have a movie.
Yeah.
Do you pick your writers out? Do you pick your name out? What is your process as a guy who makes his first movie? How do you, like, you brainstorm and try to make a movie? Yeah, we have a movie. We have a coffee table book. Dope.
Yeah.
But, like, what is you just movie related? Like, how do you even go about it? Like, are you calling people being like, you want to be in my movie?
Yeah, like I was still like so young and didn't know how to do shit like that. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna figure it out. But also it was tough because I just moved to Salt Lake. I didn't really know anybody besides Goose. And yeah, so that was just like I was just like, finding friends, trying to find people who were stoked about filming and wanted to be a part of it. And it was just like a lot of random connections I made on Hill, and then I was just like, yo man, you want to go like hit a spot after this or something, kind of thing. And then people were down, and that escalated.
So how do you pitch them? Do you have a concept of what, like, other than I'm making a movie, bro, you want to be in it? Or do you be like, this is my movie, and then they're like, will you ever shut up? And you're like, no, I haven't finished what I'm making a movie. Like, how do you work?
Yeah, I pretty much would just be like, yo, you want to get some clips for the movie? Like I never would like doll it up and make it this big thing. I did tell like a lot of people about we're like me and Goose doing the photo thing, because he would always come out and shoot photos, whatever we filmed.
So that was the main goal. To have
that was like kind of like, yeah, like
you and your friend are part, you guys both have awesome projects.
Yeah.
Both are like the same level of project, right? A book and a movie.
Yeah.
They're both fucking big endeavors.
So yeah, that was kind of just like the focus. There was no like real like, all right, we have the storyline and I'm gonna have you be like the backcountry guy, and there was nothing like that. It was just like, let's just go out and see what we get kind of thing. We just like would just go hit whatever. I didn't really have any plans. Like I ended up shooting a bunch of POW that year just because I didn't even like plan to have all that in the video, but it was just like, it was so fun, and would bring my camera. Found a bunch of really good guys who were like rip powder. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's get this in the video. Like I was just putting anything and everything I was filming kind of thing, and just shooting everything.
So how did you lay it out, or when you got a shot from someone, how did you know where it would go? Was that at the very end of the year?
Yeah, like I'm a big fan of like, at least back then and still to nowadays, but like getting everything and then editing instead of, because like I know a lot of people like they'll like kind of like make a timeline in the middle of the winter just to see what you got, and kind of do like some rough editing. And I personally think it's better just to like have everything and then just jump in like head first kind of thing. For me, at least, it makes it more organic of like how the shots are laid out, because I feel like you get in you're kind of in a different headspace than in the summer. So you can kind of look at things differently after, like in the summer, after you've done this whole winter, and look at the shots differently versus pre-editing during the winter and having this like conceptual idea that's like what it was, but also like not what it could be kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I enjoy doing it like that, but I know a lot of people don't.
So what was your dream making a movie other than to have a movie? Was it like, did you want to premiere it? Did you just want to upload? Because now you saw enough in life, right? You've been around, you've seen Level 1, 2 of their movies. So you have like kind of a bar, right? Like, so if you want to, and this is what I'm most interested, like what you view as a movie nowadays. Because like you see what a movie is. It's a box cover, it's credits in the movie, it's a soundtrack, it's a tour. And so like that was the generation that you saw as a youth, and you're the generation that's making it whatever it is today. So I'm really curious because I don't know what a movie and an edit is anymore. When I know,
right? And that is kind of like a weird sticky, or like where it's like kind of faded away of like, technically I think a movie would be an hour-long feature film, like that's technically a movie. But then, like I'm sitting here calling this video I made a movie, and it's only 25 minutes long.
Be Inspired was 26 minutes, 24.
Yeah, and so I think
it's full original soundtrack. It like the level of what got called an edit at the time, right? So that's why it's kind of funny, because I didn't market it like a movie to a certain level. And so I knew I was done. So I made sure Phil and Henrik's name had more shine, so they could always say, oh, it's Phil and Henrik's movie. Even though my name was a film by Eric Iberg and all promotion in the logo, it was still concepted how we gave it for free, because we were the first people to give a movie away for free.
Yeah.
Even though it had like equivalent, if every relation was paid for, hundreds of $1,000 budget.
Yeah.
And tours and all over the world, like whatever. So I don't know, it's kind of fun to see what you guys dream of when putting something together, because when said and done, it is a piece of art that you make in your house, like a painting, how you're telling me you create it, but art kind of is important in our sport if other people see it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm curious, like when you're doing that and you're going into the edit now, I see how you got it organic, but like, do you have a dream on how you want to lay it out, or does the footage just tell you how you lay it out?
Yeah, I get that's all like my dream was always to like try to make a movie that I could premiere, and like make something big enough where people feel like they want to come down and sit and watch it, in person. So that was like the main goal. But like for like layout of the movie, it was just very spontaneous in those early years, at least. No like little ideas of like songs and stuff and like visions on that, but nothing like we're gonna ideas about behind the video. It was just kind of a free for all, just like do whatever, see what happens with it. So that was kind of like where I was at, and I enjoyed I don't know, I was pretty loose with it. I just like would just
you wanted to have a physical showing. You wanted people to sit down and show it in a place.
Yeah, definitely. Because growing up, premieres were such like I don't know, this holy thing kind of like people gathering in a big room, to watch one ski video. And I loved that growing up. So I wanted to make something that people would come and watch of mine, that was to that caliber. So that was like the main goal of just trying to fulfill that, and do what you guys are doing with Be Inspired, and just like following your footsteps of making that. I just wanted to have something of my own that I could show people.
Did you do it?
Yeah, like for Human Error, that was the first time I ever rented a theater and did like that. We sold a bunch of photo books, did a premiere in Steamboat, and then did a premiere in Salt Lake too.
So were all your skiers Utah people that
Yeah.
are living? Okay.
Yeah, they were hyped.
I got a question. How much does it cost to rent out a theater? I actually never asked that before.
It all depends on the venue, you know.
Do you have like a range of what you paid before?
Like, I've gotten, like, the first year I did it, I got the theater for free somehow because I knew this guy in Steamboat who loved one of the writers in the video, and he was like, "Oh, I know the guy who owns the theater," blah blah blah. But that was Steamboat. For Salt Lake, like, I paid, like, at the clubhouse, which is that one like everyone goes to, like a bunch of premieres. When I did paid $1,500 for a Sunday night, which was the cheaper option. I even like schmoozed the lady. I was like, "Hey, I'm just a broke ski bum. Like, we just really want to premiere a ski video. Like, he cut me a deal." And she was like, "Yeah, for sure," you know. But then, like, the other time,
how many people showed up?
That premiere, 150 maybe. Nothing crazy.
So did you break even?
Yeah, we did break even. I think I made like $500 on top or something.
Awesome.
Because we sold some merch too. But yeah, never went broke on the premiere, so that was good. But like in past years, like last year with the child labor Magma premiere in Salt Lake, that place is like $3,500 a night. So it just all depends on how big the venue is and blah blah blah. Yeah, it can get expensive, but
500. Damn, you guys are like rock stars.
Trying to be.
You got to tell before I forget. You got to tell the church story for Magma 2. But when that comes up, we can't let that one fall through the cracks.
Oh, yeah. The intro.
Yeah, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So, first movie premiere, $500 in your pocket.
So now you're in Salt Lake City, fucking made a movie. People came. You made money. These are all humongous steps, so you know, in filmmaking.
Yeah.
So like, just for personal, you already won, and then for the actual business sense of it, pretty amazing. What do you do then? Are you fulfilled, or do you already are thinking about like how you do something bigger right away, or are you just lost then and be like, I did it, what I set my goal for?
Yeah, definitely more of like I did it and it felt so good to, achieve this goal that I was going out for, but it not like I still want more. So it just almost like drive this hunger for me of like, all right, let's do this bigger, better. I want to do this more because I love putting on premieres and seeing people's faces. Like, it just, that whole genuine feeling at a premiere is so great. So like,
Were there any big names in your first movie?
The first movie, Human Error, no big names. All just
that's even doper that you made a movie with no big names.
Yeah, just a big homie video, just anyone, kind of thing.
Awesome.
It wasn't until like I would say Magma or like Lupe, he was a pretty big name, but like Magma, I feel like was kind of like the first time I like filmed something with people that were like pretty besides like all the Wendell stuff, like, but actually making a project with someone, was kind of with Hunter and A-Hall.
So what's your next step after this premiere?
Yeah, after the premiere, moved into a better place in Salt Lake with some more, like a 4-bedroom house. So I actually got some good housing out there and was like, all right, I'm going to stick around. But it was just like, all right, let's do it again kind of thing, like getting ready to go into winter. And then did that. But it was actually because what did I do? Because it was the summer of that first winter in Salt Lake is when I filmed Magma. So when we did the Human Error premiere in Salt Lake, we also played Magma. So then I had that established with Hunter and A-Hall. And
so what got a bigger reception? If you just had a Magma with Hunter and Alex, and then you had your no-namer movie that was your name,
mm-hmm.
and so their names were bigger than yours. Like, it's got to push you in a certain direction for opportunity. Those guys just flew in from somewhere. They're probably flying out to somewhere next week. And you're like, I don't know. It's got to be some kind of awesome motivation or idea creation of what you can make with filming.
Definitely. That video was pretty, I don't know, eye-opening, or just, I don't know.
How do you go up to Wendell's again and they're like, let's film? Or how do you come about creating your first Magma?
Yeah, but yeah, for the first Magma, it was like, I did the summer at Wendell's, met Hunter and A-Hall, and then it was that winter, Hunter reached out to me. It was actually kind of random. We were just skiing together one day, like getting some shots at Park City. And then he was like, "Hey, you want to film this like hood video? Like, I want to make like an on top of the hood vibe video. Like, you want to film it?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, I'm so down. I love hood. So then that next summer, Wendell's was like, that summer they wanted me back, but then I told them no, because the reason I didn't go back was because they were like, "Oh, we're not doing the session recaps. It's all going to Instagram now. And we're going to pay you less." No, I'm not filming Instagram videos. Like, I don't get joy out of doing that shit. So I bailed on that and went for the Magma video, and those guys paid me, they paid me $2,000 for the whole thing, which I was like, what? Like, I was so hyped and super stoked that they were at least willing to pay me. So it felt good.
Like, I made a whole movie and lost $2,000.
Yeah,
you guys for a summer and made two. This is awesome.
Yeah, so I was so hyped to jump on that one, and that was also too just like another just kind of super loose free ball. Like, the only idea was Hunter having this like idea about just filming a video where we only build jumps on Mount Hood, like Sammy, like on top of the hood style. That was the only preconceived idea, and then we just went in and just every day for a month built jumps, got it done. Yeah, it was good.
Awesome.
And you guys hike up and down every single day?
Yeah, every day. Well, it was funny because that whole summer, that whole month I was filming there, I didn't have a ski pass. Hunter and Alex had passes through the U.S. ski team, but I never had one. So I was just every day like hustling someone.
You don't need one at this mountain though. Like, to do what you guys did, I haven't even watched it, but like I've filmed every location on that mountain.
Yeah, yeah.
So fun, man. Like, and then like I was privileged that I got some pass sometimes, but like I knew so many people that would never have, like filmers that never had to buy a lift ticket. Like, it's just it's the most wicked place ever. Step ups, step downs, quarters, hips, fucking everything.
It's such a playground. It's insane. And like how many jump spots are in the one little zone. I feel like people don't realize that it's just like it's so they're just everywhere.
Packing in the summer is awesome compared to everything else in life.
Yeah.
It's like am I just going for a walk?
Yeah. So much hiking. And I would boot pack up to Palmer some days when I couldn't find a pass, and then just hop on Palmer boogie up, You just get away with a lot.
Jesus Christ.
But a little different now for sure. Timberline's kind of cracking the whip.
Yeah. When you were making Magma, did you know, because Magma is probably one of the biggest ski videos to come out in the past 5 years. Like, did you know when you were stacking the shots, like, holy shit, this is going to turn out so good? Or was it not until the end where you, like, were seeing the final product where you realized what you had? Just like the sunset shoot, for example, like that, like those clips were probably like, oh my God, I can't believe we just got those.
I was going to say that it really hit me with the sunset shoot. But I was like kind of middle of the video, 3/4 of the video, we were done with. But when we did the sunset session, I was like, oh man, I'm hyped on what we got right now. Yeah. And then, when I started editing it, I was like, definitely kind of like, oh, we actually have like a lot of really good footage.
So you're making your first movie at the same time as you're making this movie?
Yeah. So Magma was filmed in the
I get the filming, but you're editing these two movies at the same time.
Yeah, editing them at the same time.
That's got to be weird as shit.
Yeah, it's something I don't know. I've done that for so long now, like editing multiple videos at the same time, and it's weird to like conceptualize your mind, of like, okay, now I'm focused on this video, but then you got to switch gears and focus on a completely different video with different vibe, so that's been tricky, but it's also kind of nice because it keeps my perspective, I feel like, kind of fresh on both videos, of like just taking my mind completely off one video and focusing on the other. But then when I go back to the other one,
keep the bar. Like, I would always think one is better than the other.
I definitely think that for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely like,
because did the Magma have to be superior to whatever you said your other video name was?
Yeah,
like you're premiering your movie and you're premiering Magma, both your projects. But like, I just would assume one is legendary.
Well, the thing was like with Magma, like we didn't know, like, yeah, we were hyped on the footage we got, but we didn't know it was going to get received so well. Like, we didn't know it was like, oh, we have this legendary film. We were just kind of like, all right, here's our video here, like, so it never had that feeling at first until we released it.
Not sitting around at night and like fucking high-fiving each other because you're still on adrenaline, being like, we fucked it up today.
No, dude, those guys are so chill. A-Hall, like, that dude never celebrates. I've never seen that man like be like, fuck yeah. Like, he never hits the claim. That's so
crazy,
funny,
man. So much to celebrate when you watch what these guys do.
Right? I feel you. But I do remember Hunter. I looked over at Hunter at the Salt Lake Magma premiere, and he was shedding a tear. I was like, fuck yeah, buddy. Like, it was, yeah, that was a good one.
Well, because Hunter has the closer too, and it's epic.
Yeah. Then, like, just that ending segment still, like, I don't know, holds a lot of feeling to me.
Dude, I can't even hear Goodbye Stranger without, like, seeing that whole segment in my mind. It's crazy. Yeah.
And you have to be epic to, like, do what you did because those locations are played. Right? So
yeah,
original, a unique, and awesome where people care. Like, it really shows you what they did there at those spots, because all those kind of spots have histories of 20 years of people tricking.
Exactly. We were just hitting all like the normal ones, just trying to do something on it that no one's done yet. Yeah, but yeah, super played spots, kind of, but.
But you're not, because you can do them forever if you're a creative.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Every time, like, even when we started doing step ups and we're like third time going to a step up over the years, and you're like, okay, well, what if we don't get to the top, but then wall ride the cornice before and then drop back in? And so you just get it's a fun location where you can be creative and different no matter what. Okay, we always did a step up here. Let's do step down. Or let's, like, there's 50 options to just build.
Yeah, but the possibilities are just endless out there. It's crazy. It's really just whatever you can think of. That's been the fun part with the Magma videos. It's kind of just whatever you come up with.
So you just fucking dominated life. Have 2 movies that come out of your first movie. And you have your connections now to people that are pretty fucking on top of their careers, that you get the opportunity to work with. Like, where's your headspace at now as far as what you're still working, right?
Mm-hmm.
Still throwing pizzas and doing DoorDash. So
yeah, still working like full time in pizza shops and shit at this point.
So double movie premiere, still working full time. Where's your head at of what's possible? Because now you're working with people that are successful. They're living off what they do. And you got to be like, wow, I could live off what I do potentially too, because I have this opportunity to be beside them. How do you see that opportunity, and what do you do to try to get it?
Yeah, I guess like after that year, definitely was like eye-opening of just okay, now I could do this. Now I could try to, attach myself with these phenomenal skiers and try to make this a living for myself, filming. So just kind of just put my head down and keep working. I was just like, all right, here we go, and just kept going into it. Next year we started, I just kept filming everything still. I just didn't stop. Like I wasn't like, oh yeah, like now, but it didn't like no opportunities came really super quick.
So your plan going into this next winter was I'm going to do another movie in Utah.
Kinda. I was helping Lupe with when X Games was 2021. That next winter, I think, Lupe got the X Games invite, so I was helping with him do that in the beginning winter. But then we also kind of started another crew in Salt Lake just with some friends called the Mill Bastards. So I was filming with them when I wasn't filming with Lupe. So I did that X Games stuff. But when I was filming with the Mill Bastards, we were just kind of filming to film. We were just like, let's just get clips, see what happens. But then it was, once that COVID hit, that's when we started filming Magma. And that was crazy because everything just shut down. And we just got locked in at Salt Lake. A-Hall almost didn't make it back. That it's funny too, because that year we were planning to go to Europe to film for Magma 2. That was the plan. It was like, all right, we'll do Magma 2 in Europe, but then we got shut down super fast because of the COVID. A-Hall almost didn't make it back, but he did.
So you guys all, Hunter and Alex, live in Utah?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that works out for you guys.
Yeah, it's nice that we're all there and it's pretty easy. So they made it back and we were just like, all right, let's just film in Utah. It's pretty fucking good here. Like there's plenty of snow. And we just went to town.
This is a perfect pee break. COVID hits. Alex is back. I'm halfway done with my 40. I'll be back in a second with the world's smallest. You going surfing today, Owen?
Yeah, that's the plan. Get this call done and
all early.
Yeah, go hit Oswald. It was really good yesterday. Super clean, not windy or anything.
You don't want the offshore breeze?
Not too much. I think it's super gnarly. I want it pretty glassy. Do you surf at all?
No. Just figured now in my head that you're in an RV on the coast and you want to talk this early. That's probably your goals.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, might as well get the call done because I'm usually down there till sunset.
Shit.
It's been good though. It's fun.
What you're in Hood this summer then?
No, just for this week. I'm just doing helping film for O&3P week up at Wendell's. So we just came out and then came out a little early to come surf and stuff.
So did you guys just see each other then? You and Ethan?
Dude, I just missed him. That's the funny thing. He left the day I showed up at the coast.
I'm at Hood now, but I was at the coast just before this in that same RV.
In the same RV.
Yeah. Also, I looked it up. Lupe was 2021 Realskier.
Okay.
Because there was no in-person awards ceremony.
This is the year I'm filming. So I was helping Lupe with his Nowhere Now Here street part. That was that year. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. COVID's hitting 2020. Guys are talking about doing Magma 2. Magma 1's hot. So everyone gets locked down. What's just stack clips plan again? Because the world's crazy and do what you can.
Yeah, we were planning to go to Europe, got shut down, but then we stuck in Utah. It was kind of a blessing because everything closed and there's plenty of snow. So we were like, fuck it. Let's just stack in Utah. It actually turned out really sick because we got to hit all these spots right on the resort, like at Brighton and stuff and Alta that like you look at, but you can't necessarily like build a jump there like when it's open, because that's just how it is out here. So that was pretty sick to be able to just have like full access. And yeah, there's nobody up there. It was pretty crazy.
So you have a time where now, like, you guys get to be hyper focused together. You're not traveling. You're doing a second project. We'll call it a movie. And is it not sure what the world's doing, or are you like, okay, should we tour more this fall? Should we do a bigger release? Like, do you want to do artwork? Is there any more thought because now you guys have a closer bond of how to make a better project than the last one? Or is skiing still the ultimate how the project's better?
Yeah, I guess going into the second one, it was a lot more about the skiing because we felt with the first one, like they did some good tricks, but nothing like super gnarly. It was more just like hitting a bunch of spots. So I feel like the second one really was kind of like, all right, these guys are going to go balls to the wall and do their biggest spins kind of, vibe. And that was like kind of the goal with the second one. I definitely had some ideas about editing, but I also wanted just to like kind of keep the same vibe rolling into the second one. Of just like, because coming off of it, it was so hot. I knew the formula kind of what everyone liked, so I was like, let's just make another one which is bigger and better kind of thing.
Yeah. So you guys have this. You get all the clips, they kill it, and it's fall 2020. Is it? Are you even able to do anything special, or do you just have to upload it because it's 2020 at this time? Or was there places to show it? Was there festivals still, or?
So we were trying to do a premiere in Salt Lake. It was actually really funny. But it was also like no venues were open. You still like couldn't like go in like public places really kind of. But we were like, oh, we'll just rent a big blow up screen, like do it in a park. It'll be sick. Like everyone will just show up and you can stand 6 feet apart, whatever. But then the night we were gonna do it was like big like Amber Alert thing like on everyone's phones about COVID, like being like the COVID surge in Salt Lake has been bigger, like you don't go out tonight kind of thing. The night we were gonna do our premiere, we're like
big COVID night.
But we ended up just running it, and like I don't know, I think 100 people maybe showed up. It was pretty small, but just ran it in this park, got some generators. It's pretty funny.
That's awesome. That's crazy.
But that was such a crazy time for ski content coming out. No premieres. You just drop it, and it's just like, fuck.
Tell the Dumont story, because that ties into the COVID complications as well.
Oh, yeah. So, we filmed. I guess that was also one of the other ideas we had for Magma 2 was like Hunter was like, dude, we got to do like some skit or something like at the beginning. Like he loves like those Joss videos and like the one where Tom and Simon do the whole Jesus Christ, whatever, skit. And that was like a huge inspiration. And Hunter, it was all Hunter really came up with the idea of like, yo, let's get Tom and Simon, we'll reenact, let's get Tom and Simon in this like kind of thing. And I was like, word. He actually thought about this when we were filming Magma 1, but we just couldn't do it. But then he's like, I'm doing it this year. And like we talked to Tom actually, and Tom was super down. But then Simon was so hard to get like stoked about it. Like Hunter got his phone number from Tom and like sent him like 5 different messages about it. Never responded. Simon just blew him off. Tried calling him one time. Like called him a couple times, I think. But then I remember it was one day Hunter's just chilling at my house, and then Simon just called him. And he was like, oh shit. And he was just like, yeah, I'm in town tomorrow. If you guys want to do it, like I'll do it, but I'll give you 30 minutes of my time. And we're like, oh shit. So we fucking scrammed, tried to find a fucking church that would let us do it. Somehow found this church in Park City that were just like, I don't know, doing some cleanup that day. And they're like, yeah, you can film in here. But it was kind of funny because it was a Mormon church. and we had like A-Hall dressed as Jesus in there. So it was like they were looking at us pretty weird. I'm like, what the fuck are these kids
That's
doing?
what I was thinking. I was like, yo, anything for money, man. I'm pretty sure all that kind of shit's sacrilegious if we were to break life down. But that's cool.
Yeah. So did that.
Wait, so this is in your edit? This is in Magma 2?
This is the intro to Magma 2. We reenact the Joss skit where, yeah, Hunter walks into the church, A-Hall comes out as Jesus, and then we get interrupted, and it's like Tom and Simon, and then Simon actually came up because we like had these really shitty scripts, but then Simon was like, all right, I got something. And then he did this one take where he was just like, triples, and you guys can't come up with your own intro? Like, what the fuck? And we're like, yo, that's perfect. So he came through with that, and we got it done. Pretty fucking bad acting, but it's funny.
Oh, was that like I see how dope it is for Hunter? Like, because I'd get that vibe too if I could like get someone to reenact like one of my childhood ski movie fucking stokeness. I'd get the awesomeness of that. But
Yeah.
how did you guys, as the film, did it get the reaction? Did your audience know what you were spoofing?
Yeah, so it went well. Yeah, everyone got like what we were trying to do. Yeah, what we were spoofing and stuff, and people were freaking out about it. So that was good because I was wondering if people were even going to get it or not. But I think it was just right on the cusp of like, okay, and that edit's so legendary. I feel like everyone knows, but I feel like a generation nowadays probably has never seen those Joss videos.
Yeah.
So we kind of
big up yourself. Big up Hunter because it's hard, and on the whole crew because it's the two hardest things are to make people laugh or cry.
Yeah.
Also, if you can really do that in a ski edit, it's like, what? Okay, I don't just film clips. Oh no, it's a big thing if you can make someone laugh.
It's way different, yeah. So we were stoked to get that one accomplished, and it was pretty funny way to open up the second one.
COVID. So you kill it again. People are stoked. You did good with what the world dealt, and everything worked out. Lucky you guys weren't all from different parts of the world making a movie. And so now what? Like you do this blow up film, you got 100 people there, you guys are sitting there. Like, what is are you still full time? Still throwing pizzas 40 hours a week?
So at this point, I was able to not work as much in the winters, and I would just slave away in the summers and save up enough where I could survive, and then I was getting paid just like a little bit here and there for filming, so just barely enough to survive in the winters. But yeah, so at this point I'm able to not be working full-time in the winters but working double in the summers. So that was like the grind for a while, which was fun, and like I enjoy doing that kind of stuff in the summers too. It's nice to get out and do some manual labor, you know.
Fuck yeah, I like moving my body.
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, so just doing that, which was nice to feel progression of like, okay, now I can take my winters off kind of and, you know, work towards something I want to do, which is
what's
really
the plan
nice
now? Magma 2 just came out. You know, like there's no way you can hit a bar that you desire because of the situation of 2020.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a fun way to look at life, being like, what else can we do? Like, what's Owen's goal after Magma 2?
Yeah, I guess my goal was like going into that next winter. You know, Lupe got his Realskier invite, so that was a huge goal of ours with me and him together, just trying to get him that spot and being a part of Realskier. I was super stoked just to be able to be put on that platform. So that was.
So it was you and him were a team. You and
yeah,
Lupe.
Yeah, me and Lupe were a team, which was nice. But it was pretty funny actually that year because. So yeah, coming off Magma 2, but me and Lupe have had this like idea of getting it in for a while. So when he got the invite, it was huge to us. But then A-Hall got an invite, and A-Hall was asking me to film his, and I was like, "Oh fuck, what do I do?" Like, but I couldn't bail on Lupe. He's my dog, and I would never do that to him. So I told A-Hall, I was like, "Sorry, man, like I can't do it." But pretty funny that I had the
Yeah, but
opportunity.
that's when you know things are going decent, and big
Yeah,
up yourself on, like, really big up yourself on that when you know the opportunity is really no hard feel, like you could have gone other way.
Yeah, so that was sick.
Do you ever think about that though? Because A-Hall got double gold for that video. You ever think about
You mean
that?
double gold?
Bit? He got number one and got fan vote. So I guess gold and fan vote. But yeah, you ever think about that, Owen? Just a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny to look at it now and be like, oh, fuck, did I choose the wrong path, as some people would say? But no, I was more just stoked to have the opportunity to film it with Lupe because he's such a good dog to me. And like, he's taught me so much too about how to film like a good video because he was, he like took me under his wing and pretty much taught me how to film like a urban, I never knew anything about that. So I was so hyped to be able to be on that platform with Lupe and doing that. But yeah, for sure, gold would have been nice. But like, I'm more stoked about the experiences I had with Lupe than winning a medal kind of thing.
And I'll tell you right now, as an outsider, knowing nothing, you won because you stayed true to what your word was. Like this, I still to this day in skiing, I know people that say yes to someone and then flip the script, and change. Like I still have a story from like a month or two ago where it's gnarly people like, what's the better opportunity? And so like, it's a big deal, man.
I could have looked at it like that for sure and been like, oh, well, A-Hall's, comp guy. I'm going to go with him because he's going to win. But I wasn't looking at it like that. I was, more looking at it for the experiences and keeping true with me and Lupe's dream of getting into that. So I was stoked to be able to do it with him.
Dude, that's probably your most viewed video ever just because it aired live on ABC. So all the work you put in everything else, that video already probably got millions of views on Premiere, which is kind of nuts.
No, it's a huge win, dude. That was such a cool event. I wish they still would do it, man. It sucks they stopped.
Yeah.
I think you just need to make it happen yourself. Like I'd pitch it to anyone. Like you're in a position now with like the magazine, I pitch it to like now new schoolers. Now I see they're independent. Like just do it yourself. Like the money is so obviously it's not about the money. 20,000 divided by 2 taxed. You guys are each walking away with 5G, right? As far as the winning. Yeah. So like there's ways of presenting the opportunity to the youth to be like, do you want to enter this? Here's your guidelines. There's a lot of guys that are the illest that we like aren't the top level guys taking away from their schedules, or whatever. Say like the Zoot Space guys or whoever, like get a guy from there. Do you know what kind of segment you would get if they were like, no way, I'm doing a contest with only 6 guys and Alex is judging me and the Browser Magazine guy's judging me?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So you guys really have this position where, because I think so too, it's a very important competition. But as talking to Mango and Phil and everyone, like risk versus reward for someone who is accomplished, it doesn't make sense as the opportunity. December through January, right? Like it's not like it has so many things that can ruin their career and they put extra pressure they'd never put on themselves in real life. But if you did it as more of not an open format, not saying everyone can, because there's enough dope kids in every region of the world you could easily handpick. Yeah. You know what I mean? Easily. Someone from Quebec, East Coast, Midwest. And then they all represent their region, and then everyone has their back to want them to win. And then it makes so if I can tangent on this, I say fucking you and your crew bring it back. Because ESPN, because when said and done, it's not going to be enough reward for who they think they need to even make it legitimate. Oh, we need the biggest icons. Well, the icons don't need you.
Yeah, right. Like they didn't have a good motive behind it because they're trying to just make like a TV show out of it pretty much at the end of the day. Like they want, the star factor, they want the big names and stuff, which maybe aren't necessarily the guys who should be getting the light in that realm. Or I don't know, like
what good does it do for ABC to say, here's the special episode, and Phil Casaubon from Quebec is the best ever urban skier. Everyone on Saturday that's watching ABC is like, can I watch a sporting event now?
Yeah, exactly. Like that, no one cares on that. Yeah.
No, but they do care about everyone in a very hyper-focused consumer, right? People that buy your magazine, people that go to New School. It's like, so it's like whatever the reward is, it's like, man, you can come up with a reward within your crew that's going to be bigger for those people than that 10,000 taxed.
Yeah.
After splitting with a filmer. You know what, like 10,000 between like Hunter and Alex, if Hunter and Alex were to be like, here's 5G each, let's make a contest, 6 teams, each region will pick one, and then we'll just PayPal them the shit. Dude, like, could you imagine what that does to a kid at the University of Minnesota Duluth if all of a sudden he got a $10,000 PayPal in February?
Yeah.
He won something because the best skiers in the world said he was the illest. His clout goes up, his motivation goes up, the sport fucking has new platforms. Booyah! Make it happen. See how stoked I am? I want to make it happen.
Dude, I back this, man. I'll have to give this some more thought. This would be a cool way to bring it back, kind of. Just in a different
way. No way they can bring it back. Like, there's no way. Like, it's already...
Yeah, in a different way kind of thing, you know.
But it's not going to be big enough for that level. Their platform, like, they're trying to make X Games League. Like, who the fuck? Like, are they going to really reach out to Alex right now and be like, there's a guy that's offering you to be on his team. Here's a salary. He's going to offer you health insurance. And then he's going to get an appearance fee of 4 times or whatever the fuck how they're working it. And I'm like, yo, it don't work. So they're going to have to take this like next level skier that doesn't have other opportunities or doesn't want to be an artist. So they're not going to have access to the Jib League guys. They're not going to have access to, I don't know. It's for you guys to create the outlets. And it's just like how I can buy an ad in your magazine for $100. The cost of entry of creating ill shit in the sport is at an all-time low. So go fucking create. Like, I don't know. I'm making a ski video game because I can, not because I have enough money.
More people need to be doing it too. It's good to see because I do see more kids just taking it into their own hands just to go do it, you know, which is nice.
So Magma 2 just finishes. You guys dominate. You guys have some the older people certify approve you with Simon and Wallish. Like you're kind of the man. Everyone knows you in your generation now. You know, like they're like, holy cow, man. Because the filmer almost has become as cool as the athletes to the core generation, which I find fun and interesting. You know,
Yeah.
you and E-Cooks, right? Is that his name? Sorry.
Yeah, E-Cook. Yeah.
He's probably bigger than 90% of the super talented fucking skiers out there. True comment.
Yeah, it's funny how it's switched. It's definitely switched, you know, in the later days of like, yeah, now sometimes the filmers get more light than the skiers do in the video, which like Gimbal God for, instance, you know, he's got his own pro model board and whatever, you know, and shit, which is crazy to see. It's cool. I'm stoked about it, but I still think of just like, you know, filmers are filmers, but if we didn't have our skiers, like if we didn't have the athletes, we wouldn't be able to film anything. So,
but you're a producer, so that's what you have to understand right now. Looking back into it, like taking a step away, Owen is a producer. He produces dope ass shit, whether it's videos that he makes on his own with random people from Utah, produces videos with the best skiers in the world, or film showings or whatever. So it's like, it's a different level what you are. Cause even though you keep talking about yourself as a filmer, you know, it's like, you're not even close to being a filmer because a filmer is trying to get clout. That's their profession. That's what they want people to know them as. A producer is Wizard of Oz shit. You cool with it. You just make it happen. It's hard enough.
Definitely. Yeah. The man behind the curtain kind of thing.
Well, because everyone else deserves the shine, right? If they didn't do a dope trick, no one would care about your film.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, it's really about them, and you're just making it happen, kind of thing, putting it all together.
So you just dominate. What's your thought now? Like, what you got to have bigger goals once again. Like now you're 2 years deep. You're COVID deep. I mean, 2020 had the Olympics too, right? So now, like, did Hunter go to the Olympics that year?
No. So
Alex did, right?
Alex made it. Yeah, he secured it. So that was awesome to see. And so, but yeah, also like going into that next year, I don't know. I was still just in that mindset of like just putting my head down and work and getting to a point where I want to be, like still didn't feel like I made it or anything. I just still was, still grinding in the summers working, and I just wanted to get to a point where I can just film all the time and focus on that. But yeah, so Hunter though, he was feeling, he had this crazy hunger in him just because, didn't get to go to the Olympics and stuff, wasn't doing great in comps that year at all. And he knew he had better in him. So that's when we like came up with the idea of like, all right, let's film like a Hunter solo part. And that's when we came up with like Soul Star. Started filming for that, but that turned into a 2-year because we got skunked super hard the first year filming for it. Just a lot of problems and everything. But we were.
So when he approached you with this concept, how does he approach you? Like, what's the concept? Because now he's coming to you, and he's
we also like he's coming off of Magma too. We didn't know where to take Magma, like at that point where we were like we knew we wanted to keep making videos and stuff, but then A-Hall got really busy with like doing the Olympic stuff, and so that's when it came to like me and Hunter just sitting there kind of being like, well, let's just go get after it, like. So yeah, I kind of took a break from like the but like it still was like Magma because me and Hunter like filming it together, so it felt like we were doing the same thing, but just a little different because it was more oriented around him, and he just had this crazy hunger that year.
Would you see Magma just like B&E? Like is Hunter and Alex like a crew that's like kind of like always together, or like?
Yeah, it's basically what you guys were doing with B&E and stuff. Like it's just that skier duo, like this like super duo kind of vibe. Like, two skiers that live and breathe, eat together and complement each other's skiing to the fullest, and highlighting that. So you guys kind of set the path for us, which is crazy to look back now on.
Well, we had Will Wesson and Andy Perry. We had to give all these kids their props, Parker White and Chris Logan.
Yeah, because they were doing it too.
Fucking Mike Hornbeck.
Yeah.
So we had all these generations of duos, like especially when it was influential in early 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I find it fun, like because they all created a brand, and so so my next big question is like, how would you describe Hunter and Alex being different? Like, how are they different?
Those like different in their personalities, or
is what I'm most interested. Like, because I haven't watched enough, but I could tell you for days how Henrik and Phil are different. So you're as a person that's been around them the most. Like, how are they different in their styles?
Like different compared to each other, or different compared to everyone
compared to each other at skiing. Like, because they gotta complement each other, right? So they gotta have different pros.
Yeah, like I would say, like A-Hall's like everyone knows. I feel like knows this, but he's just super calculated. With everything he does. Hunter's a little more of that raw, just like I'm just gonna huck kind of energy. So. It's good for, at least for Hunter, having Alex there, because Alex very calculated and, if you do this trick on this jump, it's going to react this way. He's got a formula to everything he does. So Hunter feeds off of that a lot because he doesn't have a formula. He just goes, and it's good for A-Hall. And so those two have this like brotherly kind of bond kind of thing of like, A-Hall is kind of coaching Hunter in an aspect of things, but then also A-Hall uses, I think, Hunter's like raw, like just like explosion of energy to also fuel him to be like, all right, I'm going to do some crazy shit. Cause like,
Hunter's fucking ready.
But yeah, like their styles though are kind of similar, so I think their skiing like works well together. Like they obviously have their different styles, but they're both.
I think you answered it, man. Like the style, what you just explained was perfect, man. Like,
right, yeah, it's like it's pretty cool to see those two just like bounce shit off each other, but then also bicker at each other like they're married, you know? Like, it's hilarious. Like,
but it's super fun. Like,
We're back, and now I'm inside Winch store because he opened it up in the time that we started recording, so I just came inside now.
multiple locations.
Yep. All right, where were we at? We're at the Soul Star season.
Yeah. No, I was just saying to finish off, like, I was just saying, like, way athletes complement each other, you know, like if they don't have a little different to bring to each other, it doesn't work. So that's what I was interested to learn, their dynamic and what each other brought to the table for each other.
And
So that's kind of fun because now when I watch it, I'll see Hunter more as a loose skier and Alex more as a calculator. I didn't know this shit, so it'll be fun to watch.
yeah, Hunter definitely chucks. But yeah, it was pretty funny. Like me and Hunter filming Soul Star, we really realized how much like Alex is the glue to our crew. Like we work so well, all three of us, but when it's just like two of us, you know, like it's funny. Like we were struggling a lot without Alex, but we made it.
So does that like come down to like getting organized, waking up, building a jump, seeing where to build it? Like, is it everything when Alex is
a little
missing?
bit? Yeah, like he's got a lot of the motivation, like telling us when we're gonna get up and shit, you know, but also like visions on spots too. Like he's got such a crazy eye for it, maybe like more than me and Hunter really do. And so it's nice to have his perspective a lot of the times when me and Hunter are just like, oh, I don't know, let's just throw it up, you know, kind of thing.
Okay, so you're done with Magma 2, still grinding in life. The Hunter project's turning into a 2-year project, so it's year 2 of the Hunter project, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are the goals for you other than the Hunter project in this winter coming up? After Magma 2.
Still just like trying to finish that strong, and yeah, still just like, I don't know, trying to get...
Are you making another Magma at this point?
We were talking about it, but we didn't film anything that second year of Soul Star. We were like more talking about doing a third one that second year, because then he had more time that second year to like film and stuff, and he made like a little street part, but we didn't film any backcountry like jump stuff really that year. Because we were like out at Hood at the same time, but he was filming for a faction video, so we're still tied up that year. But yeah, it was after that spring, after we finished filming Soul Star, we were all out here at the coast actually, and like had this conversation where we're like, all right, we're gonna film Magma 3, we're gonna film it all year long, because the first 2 Magmas are all filmed in like a month and a half. So Magma 3, we were like, let's do the whole season.
Going into an Olympic year.
Magma 3?
Yeah.
Was that Olympic year?
Well, yeah, assume so. If you finish Magma 2 2020, and then you finish the Solstice 21, 22 would be Magma 3.
Well, no, because we've Magma or Soul Star was 2 years, so we're still filming for Soul Star in the 22.
Okay.
And then that next winter is when we started filming for Magma 3.
Okay. No, I was just wondering because Alex's schedule kind of opens up a shitload more after Olympics, right?
Yeah.
He could commit to creatively.
Definitely. He was all over the place of just it's pretty funny. But he didn't do much like media shit. He was opting out on everything, which I thought was hilarious. He doesn't like being in front of the camera, like in that aspect. It's funny.
No, we learned about that.
Yeah.
So you guys so what does he do after? Is Alex join up with your crew like in the spring then after the Olympics?
Yeah, because we were filming the end of Soul Star, but then he filmed some stuff for the Faction because Faction was making a hood video that year. So he was mainly filming with Faction while me and Hunter were still finishing Soul Star. So we weren't like, it was kind of interesting. Yeah, me and Hunter were just on our own, and A-Hall was off doing his Faction stuff. But yeah, that's when we decided, though. We were like, all right, let's do a third one, kind of like to end it, kind of not like the end of Magma thing, but the end of the trilogy, those Magma videos, kind of. We just want to try to change it into a different style a little bit. But yeah, that was like the thought process. Like, let's just go all in on this one, just go crazy, see what we can get.
So your plan was a whole 22-23 was to make Magma 3 full winter commitment by all you guys?
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to travel with them to all their comps too, because we were also Hunter. This is when Hunter came up with the idea of doing the Magma Mondays of like these smaller YouTube videos to try to build this hype on our YouTube channel for the release of Magma 3. So as we're doing Magma 3, we started doing all the Magma YouTube smaller stuff just to mainly to build hype for Magma 3. But then it just turned into like, all right, let's just like keep doing that. But yeah, so I was with them the whole time that year traveling. We went on a month-long street trip and then did another like month and a half. So it's funny, like we filmed all year technically, but they still were doing comps. So we really only filmed for like 2.5 months for Magma 3 as they're doing all their comps, which is pretty funny.
So how, in this position, you're making a movie now, Magma 3, how do you get paid?
Yeah, so like I've been lucky enough with those two, like they've always paid me for my work, which is really nice, and I'm super grateful for them doing that. But yeah, so like just going into that, knowing I had more videos to do with them, we were doing a big, filming longer. I worked out like a deal with them with with budgets we could get from sponsors of how much they could pay me.
Because they probably have project budgets, right? And then they whatever project budget they get paid for it, and then they can justify paying you that.
Yeah, pretty much. Like they each get their own film budget to just do whatever pretty much they want with it. But then we also Magma 3 was the only year too we like actually sourced out sponsors to get like a Magma 3 budget, not outside of their film budgets. Like we got so we used that to like pay me and get me traveling and stuff. And
so how did you do that? Did you have to go after sponsors, or was that Alex and Hunter that one got sponsors for your movie?
Look, it was all through them. So yeah, like Alex was talking to Hunter, and then Alex was talking to Monster. Hunter was talking to Vocal and Marker and stuff. So I didn't have to necessarily deal with any of that. It was kind of just through them and their sponsors and them knowing what we could do and what we'll accomplish, kind of thing.
So now that you're taking sponsor money, do you have to set up a company that they send sponsor money to for a project, or is sponsor money still go through sponsored athletes at this time in life?
Yeah, it's still like just like Hunter and A-Hall got the budget. They paid me for my filming stuff but like for travel, like they're buying all the hotels and gas and stuff. So nothing like is coming through my pocket really with that.
Okay. So you never had, you haven't in life at this point of conversation, you haven't started a company ever to be a filmmaker or a producer of any sort?
No, it's all been just through athletes and stuff. So that's something I've been thinking about as well, of where I could try to maybe take Browser to do like a Browser video, and I'm solely in charge of it, and everything.
Yeah.
We'll see.
My biggest, like I did subcontracted the first 10 years of my life, right?
Uh-huh.
So my like first 4 movies, all the way through idea, I'd always find a different production company. I'm like, I don't want to start my own company, but I need the sponsor money to go through a production company.
Yeah.
And so like E-Media presents Eric Iberg, Poor Boys presents Eric Iberg. And so I did that only because I didn't want to start a company. And then when I started, it's like, oh, I guess we need to start our own company to make checks go somewhere. So it sucked, but it still took me, 11, 12 years before I started a company where I like understood the importance of having money come to that company. That money, because even like you, right? Like you still, most of the money you spend is probably an expense for your creations. So if that money went to your company, well, it's all write off then.
Yeah.
You save it all, and it's awesome.
No, definitely. That's something I'm realizing too of what I could start doing with that. Exactly.
And it's pretty cheap. An LLC in Utah is like, I think, $120. And it takes about 20 minutes to start. And then you get your tax ID, open a bank account, and then you just have Hunter and Alex send you their checks.
Yeah.
Their business goes, though, they're not on top of their shit either.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're on top of it, you start your LLC, that's where your money goes in and out of. You do all your accounting there because you live your life for your business. It's everything's a write-off. Even where you live right now, like if you pay rent and it's only one room, well, that's a write-off what your rent is because that's your office.
Yeah.
But you can't do that if it's personal. You just pay rent.
Exactly. That's definitely I gotta look into that and get that going because I could write off a lot of things.
Everything. And especially before families, because your whole life is a write-off. Every day you're working, you're only in Oregon now because you're there on a job. So your gas is for work, your food is for work. It's a business meal because you're away from home. Your home is your office, so that's write-off even if you're paying like your monthly rent and you're on the road for a month. Your phone, because it's all business. Everyone who calls you talking about skiing. So then all of a sudden you pay your phone through your LLC, and whatever that card is. So that's a write-off at zero, and then there's no taxes. And when you got to buy your own health insurance, you don't want to pay taxes.
Yeah. No, definitely not. That's something I just started. I just got off of the parents' health insurance, so I got to figure that shit out.
And it took me a long time. That's just kind of the point of this show too, right? Like where it's like that cheap and that easy if you type in Utah LLC. And you can have a tax ID in 24 hours and open a bank account. And you put $50 in and then all of a sudden you have it. And that's less than 24 hours.
Yeah, it's that easy. That's crazy.
It's that easy. And so it's your most basic setup where you should care more about that than your personal bank account. Because what the fuck is the point of your personal bank account other than taking and spending money?
Yeah.
Might as well do that in your business.
Might as well. So everything's a write-off. That's good.
Okay, so Magma 3. You get into it, you're like, trilogy shit. We're going to dominate this. Alex is the man, right? He just won an Olympic gold.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's kind of big. He's kind of big time. So now you got the biggest superstar in the world making a movie. You figured out a way to survive where you don't have to work 40 hours and travel. Like, do you guys have any other than just dominate with this movie? Are you guys thinking like, let's tour it, let's do merch? Like, do you guys have any other thing other than let's just go be the illest fucking skiers in the world? I got this documented.
Yeah, definitely. There was a lot more like thought now too when we started filming for that was just like where we wanted to take Magma, I guess, in the prior years. And that's like something too, like where Hunter was really pushing those YouTube videos because he was like, well, we can build this as we're building our main film, and it can help us get to the places where we want to be, kind of thing. More money in our pockets to keep traveling and doing stuff because the YouTube videos do well. The people just like that mindless content. We were looking.
Well, I watched your behind the scenes. I haven't watched your movies, so that was the only way I could learn who you people were. Even how I discovered you wearing an inspired sweatshirt right at the house, an unpacking thing. And so like I did it because it's like, wow, I get to know who these people fucking are. Right? Mm-hmm. There's no like to create an opinion on Alex just off visuals is wrong. Because it's so easy and it's absolutely opposite of who he is. If like I just went off this like just picture, if I was to take a still, it would be like a GQ model guy. And then if I see a video of him, you're like, okay, he's kind of robotic. But then if I get to meet his personality and know who he is, I'm like, holy shit, that's who he is? Even if you still only gave me 50%. But you were able to through those Magma YouTube edits. And I think like Hunter was right on, because as someone that maybe the youth doesn't want that superstar, but the old person still is interested in, like, why is that person special other than his dominance in the sport? Because who's not good nowadays?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you got to give them more.
Good. So I'd rather know why those persons are fun, or why I should support them, or, you know, even if I don't like their tight pants, why do I not? Tell me why you're cool even with tight pants. Alex did it. You know, like we sat him down on this podcast, and I just got to ask him what his thoughts were. And then he tells me, and then I'm like, okay, well, I only had judgment before. Now I have your point of view, why you do it. And there's no judgment because I heard from the source. So
yeah, exactly. I think people really can relate to it as well. Just the person, seeing someone's personality outside of the baggy pants or tight, you know, kind of thing. Like, and I think it's important too to like show people that, to like really get a feel. I don't know if you want to be in that light kind of thing, but I think it's good to have the personality in the videos more than the skiing sometimes.
Yeah. Because your generation doesn't have that false persona, right? We were able to curate up until the B&E generation. Like, when you only see people once or twice a year, or 4 times on the B&E show, you know, like, you can really make up your alter ego, who you are, like what image you want to get off. Say it was harder, like when Tanner came out in one movie, 2001, he has a rap song in his one ski segment, 2 lifestyle shots of him walking up a half pipe and going like this. Everyone's like, oh, he's thug. Why? Because it's a rap song with 2 lifestyle shots with your hands going like this. It was that easy to like make a whole image or a persona. And so now it's like that. It's almost impossible to do it. So it has to be beyond authentic now, because everything is so fake. So it went from that one shot of being fake of a lifestyle that now people's whole personas are 100% fake. So anything that's real now is the only thing that's cool, I think. Like, it's like unless you know that real person is like being a character. You know, like, now we got to evolve, because now you know Henrik enough that like he doesn't just bark and bob his head. And he actually talks, and like, it's really fun when he does. And, you know what I mean? But it took 15 years.
Yeah, for people.
How many people had judgment on him when he just had humongous dreadlocks?
Right. Yeah. Just like that right there. Your appearance, you know. But yeah, it is turned into like not having, it has to be 100%. That's what people want. If it's not, then they're just like, oh, whatever, you know, shrug it off kind of thing.
Yeah. And that's why I think you win, like why I get lost in my head of how you concept movies, because like your creativeness is actually like not, it's an acronym I think I learned in baseball. It's called KISS, like keep it simple, stupid. Something they always teach you in team sports growing up. Yeah. And it's like you do it so basically where it's awesome, you know, because I get dumbfounded. Like, you have to understand, like, first movie pitch I ever made, I was like, I want to do my movie in high 8 video cassette tape, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone goes, no. See how ski movies are made in 16 millimeter? We represent the best quality in our brand, so we can't sponsor someone who doesn't make up a project without the best quality film. The difference between a high 8 camera was $30 for unlimited tape to film compared to $500 for 3 minutes of film.
Yeah.
And you couldn't, like, and so you add that up, and that's the difference of point of entry. So it's really fun now when I watch edits in high 8 video in 2024. Like, oh, holy shit, 26 years ago, everyone said I sucked because I wanted to use that format. Because I tried to preach to the sport. I was like, our sport's not grown. You're into kids, like kids are doing our sport without twin tips. Why can't I grow with the sport as a filmmaker? You know,
definitely.
If these guys are still not holding the grab the whole way, or why do I have to have the best camera? Like, I was always anti-red cameras because it was what we captured and how we presented it. So I find you guys really interesting because authenticity is number one thing. How do you do that? Clip, 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 clip.
Yeah.
Not trying to think how the music has a purpose with the wording over the fucking visual, with how the jacket is open, and then how you ride out of the frame in the lower left, but you make sure you re-enter in the lower left when going the opposite direction. Like, dude, there's a thought on every edit. It's so fucking gnarly. If you watch Phil or Henrik edit as editors, it takes them so long. Probably spend like fucking 1,000 hours staring at the same goddamn fucking 3 minutes over, over. And it was preconceived.
Yeah, it's funny. Everyone's got a different method to the madness, you know. Like, it's
I
funny.
think you're the leader. This is my giving you flowers. I think you're a leader in it because you're able to capture what people want. You know, because that's why we have you on here. It's like, okay, you have the right crew, and then you got the right formula to present it. You know, so that's what's been fun to watch. Even though I haven't watched movies, I only watched behind the scenes. I still know enough with what you create where it's like, wow, that's what people think is the shit. So pick up yourself.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's an honor hearing that from you. And yeah, I don't know. It's just fun. I just find it so fun to try to capture. I don't know. I just enjoy making videos at the end of the day. So that's never like me trying to like, I don't know. Just not, I don't put too much thought in it. Yeah, just keep it simple and try to just make good videos.
So what was special about Magma 3 for you guys?
Yeah, that one it felt special because one, we got to film like a lot more street in it, which I really enjoyed, and I feel like we never showed that side of like Hunter and A-Hall in the first two videos, so I felt like it showed their well-roundedness really well. And then also too, I don't know, just the stuff we were getting on the street trip going into like the spring when we were going to build a bunch of jumps. We didn't have that many jump clips, but we were like sitting on so much footage already. We were just like, all right, well, it's still going to be good. But just the knowing of it being kind of our ending, we're like, all right, let's like kind of reenact the sunset shoot, you know, getting some similar shots to like do homage to like the first one, kind of like I was really trying to tie it all together, of like have this feeling of the trifecta. But it just like kind of naturally happened with the last sunset shoot was the last day we were filming, and ended up getting a good sunset. Hunter did the triple classic, you know, like it felt good to like just bring it home to like Hood again. And like, even though we did do a lot of different filming throughout the year through just everything.
How'd you present it? Did you guys tour it at all? Did you just upload it again or anything?
Yeah, we did the most premieres we've ever done for that one. Like I played at the level 1 premiere in Denver for that stop. Then we did a premiere in New Zealand while we were out there in September, which was awesome. And then did another one in Bozeman and then in Salt Lake. So a couple stops, but that was the most we've ever done before. Usually we just do like a Salt Lake one and that's it.
And you guys were all present at each one?
Yeah, A-Hall wasn't present for 2 of them, but the other ones we were all there. Or I guess we weren't at the level 1 because we were in New Zealand at the time when that one premiered, but we all were in New Zealand, which was fun.
So what are premieres like nowadays? Like when you do it, do you guys have big, like, because I'd always do it where I'd align with ski clubs because I couldn't afford venues.
Yeah.
Just be like, yo, give us $500 appearance fee, you know, and then like,
yeah, and you can just go
get as many places as possible, and I'd just show up and I could merchandise or whatever. But then I got venues for free, and it was easy to get big attendance because they had a consumer base, right?
Yeah,
there's love to the people that wanted a party and whatever. Yeah. But how did you guys set your shit up? Did you have to keep renting venues that year?
Yeah, we were just renting out venues, which we had like a budget. We had budget left over from like the film budget, so we used some of that to get some venues. Kind of tagged along with like doing the level 1 thing just to like get, you know, some heads to watch the video. Tagged along with like we kind of did like some like collab premieres to like make it cheaper for everyone, you know, like we did like child labor as like a Salt Lake crew, and then us, we, you know, split the big venue and then came together and just showed the videos, you know. So we did some stuff like that to like try to make it cheaper, because yeah, venues aren't cheap.
Are people still stoked? Like, do you fill the venues and like do they scream and like
Yeah,
by the skiers that are in the movies, or what's the vibe like nowadays in the ski movie?
definitely. No, people are like still, I see more and more people come out to premieres every year. Like the one we did in Salt Lake, I think was maybe one of my biggest like ones I've helped like put on. Like we had like 1,000 people show up, which I was like blown away, filled this place, and it was so sick. Everyone was just hyped, and like we had some free beer too, so that's always good. And yeah, kids just going crazy for the giveaways and stuff. Like it's always such a good time. But yeah, Salt Lake, it's always sick because everyone pops out. Same with like Bozeman too. Like Bozeman's got a really good scene, and a lot of people come out. I would love to go.
Magma 3 is 2022? 24.
What was that?
Magma 3 released when?
Yeah, last 23, because it was last winter.
Okay, so now you're getting this like, I mean, 1,000 people watching a ski movie that you created. That's one location. Like there's got to be. Did you work that summer? Or were you still on like a payroll from those guys to finish, edit, do all that stuff? Or is
I was working full time for this trail crew. Like I was helping build like multi-use bike trails in Bountiful. So I was doing that full time while I'm editing Magma 3. And also that's when I decided to start the browser. So then I also was editing issue 1 to get that out as soon as possible. So yeah, that's when
so now like when I listen to it, I'm like, holy cow, you got a movie that's dope with the best in the world. You got a magazine inspiration dream that we'll get into and go hit rewind in a second. And then you're working full time. Do you have, you're surrounded by people that make a living at doing what they love, and you're doing what you love, and you're making kind of a living in the winter, you know, in a survival.
Mm-hmm.
Are you having any point now, or are you still young enough where you're like, wow, man, like I really would not like to work in the summer because sometimes I don't have enough time to edit or film? Or are you still loving the balance of having something else to do to keep you busy?
Yeah, no, I definitely want to. That's like just been my goal of mine to go, you know, fall 100%. Don't have to get a real job pretty much, and can just work and film and focus on that. And this year, this is the first year I've been able to do that. I'm not working this summer. I'm able to just focus on my craft and go in. So it feels good to be able to get to that level. But yeah, it's definitely been a goal of mine for a while to be able to not have to work in the summers, just to, you know, make ends meet, to actually like survive off of my work kind of thing. And it's been a tough grind, you know. It's not easy nowadays. Like filmers don't get paid much. Like I'm barely making ends meet, you know, and it's just how the industry is right now. But it's slowly getting better, I would hope.
No, it's an interesting thing. I saw a shift, like I think I saw like 6 years ago, something on the internet, Instagram or Facebook, a meme came out like of a fucking filmer for a snowboarder or a skier, and like a skier wanting a clip and the snowboarder wanting money for the clip after a day of filming. And then and that was right before Gimbal God blew up. And I was like, oh man, really? And so like I saw the separation of collaboration, you know, like of doing this shit, whereas just like this is a pretty awkward, because you can't really create shit if you're all trying. Like, so if the cameraman becomes awesome, he's like such not the glue compared to the producer, director, or the skiers.
Yeah.
And once this cameraman got fame, or people are like, oh, pay me for my clip, and you're asking kids that haven't even made it yet, and you're taking 10, $50 because you filmed it, your camera cost, you had to upload it, you had to email it. And I saw this as a normal practice, I think, like on the internet over the last 10 years. And I was like, this is fucked up, man. Like, what are you really trying to create in your art? But yeah, it's really interesting to watch. So it's kind of fun when you can, your micro crew can make it happen, because it really makes people diverse, or cameramen being like, who's going to pay me? Yeah, I got this company to make me travel all over. I travel more than the pros now. And you're like, how's the cameraman traveling more than the pro?
Yeah.
How's everyone saying his name? Like, big up this guy.
Well, dude, they're now flying out, YouTube influencers to come, be the face of the event. It's so crazy nowadays too. Like what companies are valuing as like profitable thing, marketing thing, and not just the athlete anymore. It's these faces of the internet kind of thing.
So how do you see it as a youth that wants to be engaged in the sport and give so much and work so hard? How do you see it as a way of creating? Like, I mean, now you make movies, you started a magazine. Like, how do you see it? Like, what's the angle in your life in this industry to make a living and create?
Yeah, it's tough because like I feel like I'm in like kind of this weird era of like, like back when you were doing it, you could sell DVDs, you could, you had these aspects to like make money, but now it's like all through like social media, influencer posts, things like that, working with companies to get so many views on an Instagram post. Like not many companies really just, they're forking up a ton of money for a feature film, like they want these bullshit reels, that go through, and I hate that side of things, but it's a game, and you got to play sometimes if you want to get paid. But also I value my craft more than getting paid, really. So I would value just trying to make things I'm stoked on, longer videos, magazine, things you can hold. Like that's what really holds with me and like where I want to take it kind of thing. But it's tough to like have people like convince companies like that's where it should be when they see things differently, in the industry.
Are you part of that? Do you talk to any sponsors, or do you talk to companies and like tell them about your projects, and like do they respond? Do you get feedback? Like, do people say no, you're not what we're looking for? How's it work?
I've done it more with like before. It's always just been through the athlete, so I haven't been in too much contact with sponsors trying to convince them of like an idea, But yeah, with the browser stuff, I have been a little bit, and like luckily no one's like shut me down too hard with it. Everyone's been pretty hyped about it, so that's nice to like have that energy reciprocated into it of like, okay, like people do back it, people want to see this kind of thing, like let's see where it can go. But also there's just not a ton of money in the industry for that side of things. Like I'm still trying to find ways to like value it to a company where it's like, yeah, pay for all the printing costs on this, like it's gonna help, blah blah blah, you'll get this out of it. It's just interesting to see companies, but then they're forking up all this money for like Instagram reels and shit, and it's like the value they see, it's still so skewed, but I don't know.
It don't make sense. That's why I know you're onto something, because once like you guys all like are saying everyone's retarded, that's when everyone should really like wake up and be like, well, because all the older people are trying to sustain and survive.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to look at every single company that you're dealing with has been out of business at least 5 times in the history of their time, gone bankrupt and had a new owner. Every single company.
Yeah.
From skis to your bindings to your boots to your eyewear. Maybe not as much eyewear, but they still sold off at some level. And so it's an interesting conversation. But I don't know. I think you have that spot where it's like the money's there as far as like creation shit. So and I see how slow you go. I'm just pushing you. because you're doing so much shit, right? So let's get to the magazine. You're working full time, you're making Magma 3, and you think it's a good idea to make something in print. How does the idea come about that even a ski magazine, like what is your birth of the idea? How does it even come about?
Well, yeah, I don't know. It was kind of like a long thought I've had for a while of just didn't feel like growing up, having Free Skier and all these other magazines to like get this information about skiing from was so, I don't know. It impacted me a lot when I was younger. And I felt like right now there wasn't much of that. I was getting like lost in the Instagram and feeling like that. So this has been a thought I had for a while of like trying to go that direction. But then I don't know why I chose that summer that year. Just, I don't know. I was just like working. I was working at this job, like out on this trail by myself, like chainsawing cleaning some trees up and stuff. And I was just like, man, I gotta just do it kind of thing. Like I've been telling myself about this. I've been thinking about this idea for so long, and I'm like, I just gotta react on it,
Did you make the print book in your first movie in Steamboat?
So I wasn't, like I guess so. Yeah, I was a part of that, but my friend Goose, he took care of all that side of things.
But I'm saying it still got done, right? So you were still part. I'm asking because you still had, because what doesn't exist, and it changed in my generation, like towards then, like we got rid of the photographer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't like them my whole career because they'd have to set up their lights. They got my shot sometimes in front of me if they're shooting fisheye on a rail.
Yeah.
They were just, and so like we were able to eliminate them over time, but they're what gave you posters, covers of magazines, et cetera, et cetera. So another thing I was super stoked because you said you were working with a photographer at such a young age at the basic concept. I'm like, man, like I've been trying to do coffee table books for like 14 years or like since idea, like almost since 2007 has been a dream. Like, cause I saw Candide do one like 2007, same time. And so I was like, this is amazing. So you were part of it. You had a photographer, but did you get to work with a bunch of photographers in the sport of skiing? Like, cause that's what, like to make a magazine, you have to know people that actually take still images, not have a video camera.
Definitely. And I think, I don't know, just over the years, I've met so many people and met more people in the industry. So I do have this, I know a handful of amazing photographers that, I know their shit just doesn't get the light that it should be getting.
So you're saying there's a bunch of youth out there your age or younger that take photos of skiing?
Yeah, definitely. There's not a ton, but there is a handful of them. And they, they don't, none of their shit gets seen, Yeah,
because I was wondering what their outlet is nowadays. Because there's no way they're getting hired for a big photo shoot from a company like K2.
Yeah. Most kids aren't getting that, or they're just, they shoot for Instagram, which sucks to see because it's like, yeah, you might get more clout or whatever, but is it really going to impact anybody of like shooting a really good photo, on Instagram? So that was also another, like, I don't know. Well, before I got into filming too, I was super into photography. So I've always had this love for photos and everything. And it also inspires the way I think I film stuff too through photography. So that was also another just like thought of like having, there needs to be an outlet for ski photography or it's just going to perish and die,
So what was your biggest goal with the magazine? Like if was it to like tell a story? Was it to like give an outlet for photographers? Or you had to, because it's a big dream.
Yeah.
Like you saw like Realskier go down to maybe 1 issue, 2 issues now. You saw his like be eliminated, powder be eliminated. Like me, as soon as I learned about you, I tell my magazine friends and they're like, God bless him. It's just like, it's a very fun thing to see as an old person because it's a formula that a majority of the people in it, a majority have failed. up to the likes of Sports Illustrated, and like this. So like when we look at an old head perspective, print is really dead. I'm interested how you think, like, what's your dream? Like, how are you creating something that doesn't exist? You have no competition is my point.
Yeah. And that was definitely like a thought of like, man, this is definitely like a dying industry to get into. Like, why am I doing this? But I don't know. I just had this passion and drive to do it. And I've been thinking about it for a long time. So I just was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. But my goal with it was just, I just wanted to try to bring the community together again a little bit. It felt like with skiing and a lot of the ski community, there's just a split of like separation with everyone of like, different clicks with crews. And I don't know, just didn't feel like there was like a hole to our ski world, So my goal with it was just to try to bring some people in for that, try to build a world that everyone can like, kind of enjoy and like see skiing in the way you want to see it. It's like, I feel like a lot of companies oversaturate what skiing is and is not what just like leaving it the raw aspect of like what it is, like they're trying to doll it up and make it this whole thing. Like, yeah, it's a rich man's sport, it's not cheap, but there's still like a pure side to it, I think, that a lot of companies don't see and trying to show.
You don't get it because it's not a bottom line, right? To sell ski, that you have to do customer service and replace them.
Mm-hmm.
So it just doesn't make sense. But the only reason you're in it, I'm still around, is because people do that. And so it's just like, it makes sense. So I think you're right on. There's nothing because other than High Five in France, we don't have anything. We don't have a magazine. We don't have a film festival. So even why would you think as a kid you should make a long format movie? Like, what is your real dream of doing? Like, you can have goals of who you don't want to be like, but you have no dreams of what you do want to be like, really, because there's no outlets to be, unless you guys create like the best tours and the best film festivals,
Yeah, definitely.
You guys create.
But there's not many outlets to do it anymore. So it's up to like us to do it kind of thing.
Because even you in Salt Lake, imagine you pulled 1,000 people, right? So you have a guaranteed built-in audience. You have guaranteed clout. You just shot for ON3P. You can get every fucking core group to give you their film, so they're not flexing and be like, "Oh yeah, you want my movie? You got to pay a fucking $1,000 to show it." So they're like, "No way, we'll come and party." And then you just come together, and then you're like, "Hey, dude, you're the coolest." And then all of a sudden, that 1,000 people is for 6 films instead of 1 or 2.
Yeah, and that's like where it'd be sick to get more people involved with things like that, like, and just push more, because it's cool to see too, like, I don't know, after doing the first issue, how many people have come up to me now and been like, yo, I'm shooting more photos for browser, like I'm trying to get a photo, like, now that there is this small platform, people are excited to get photos in it. There is
yeah, they are, dude. That was the biggest thing for a photographer ever. Like, no way, I got a cover.
Yeah,
there's photographers that have emails. Like, there's this guy named Jeff Preco from Vail, shot photos for his whole life. Like, you got to shove a cover shot on like Ski Magazine or something in the late 90s. And his email was like covershotcreco@hotmail.com. And it's like, dude, people's whole identity were off, like, as a photographer in the ski world, of like trying to get a cover.
Yeah.
Or a paid spread ad.
Yeah, exactly. Like, those were like the biggest outlets for them to like show their work. So it's cool to try to bring it back and get something for people to be excited about, like. And that's what we need too. Like, I think it's important for people to get excited about something like that and have like a bigger goal than just like, oh, I hope my Instagram post gets this many views, like
it gets forgot about within a minute.
Yeah, that people don't even remember next week. So that's like the goal with it. It's just to like keep skiing I don't know, to remember this like era we're in right now, you know, because if we don't do it, no one's going to remember Instagram in 20 years, like what you posted. So it's like, I think it's important.
My wife has 80,000 digital photos.
Yeah, that's you know, they just
I have about 50 photo albums. Now I just look at them like, how easy is it to erase history? Is it to erase memory? Is it to have people forget? You know, even if she looks at them all the time, like all it takes is that hard drive to crash, and the one that, like, I don't know, because my biggest thing about skiing is no one ever learned history, right? So as soon as like 1080 came out with a twin tip, that top one, they're like, we invented the twin tip. I'm like, what? The K2 Poacher was released 2 years before. How do you say you invented the twin tip? And then I got 5 skis over here that were released like in the early 90s and late 80s that were twin tips. So because history never got taught in skiing, it sometimes goes backwards or gets held from progression. And so like what you get to teach, where like right now it's no one's learning shit. And like, how do I be the best? If I win, then I can make it. Whee! And you're like, man, like we're talking to you because you didn't win. It's because you're trying harder. You know? So that's what's awesome. So when you release your first of all, making a magazine is crazier than making a ski movie. And especially when your bros are hooking you up with a salary and your workflow and all this shit. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, how? Now you have to look at it financially, because if you get into it, it's not as much as stacking clips. You save money from your other job. It's like, I got to call a million people, follow up, get these photos, have someone write something, lay it out, do a proof check, like 8 billion things. And you're one man. How do you justify that you can do it? Like, or do you just dive in and then just learn every day and go, oh, fuck, here's some more?
Yeah, pretty much just diving in and just like, all right, I'm going to figure this out one way or another kind of thing. But it's been crazy learning curve of figuring all that out, going from not knowing anything about that, talking to so many different people, following up on emails, like it's so much work, but I've been loving every minute of it. And it's cool to see, I don't know, how it's also given me a new light on like how I look at videos too. I don't know. It's just nice to change up my creative flow, put it into something else than just making videos. So I've been really enjoying that side of things too. But yeah, it's a fuckload of work though. Like, holy, I don't think I realized too when I like was like, oh yeah, I'll make a magazine, like what I was getting myself into. And then
there's a lot of pages you make.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh fuck, I got to do at least 100 to like make this thing feel good, like in your hand, And I'm like, that's a lot of pages. But it's been, I don't know, it's working right now. I definitely am overloading myself with work, but I'm kind of that kind of person who I really enjoy being busy. I don't know. I'm like always
making a magazine. So in the past, the formula is you try to put it out every month.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to make a magazine. When do you release? What month of the year do you release your first magazine?
I released it was December 8th, I think. Yeah, right. Beginning of December.
So do you have a goal of making a second one, or is it just a one and done first concept? Or do you have a long term, like how many you want to make every year, or how's that work?
Yeah, I definitely had a goal of like already knowing like I'm going to make a second one. And my goal was I was like, okay, if I get it out at the beginning of the winter, get the name out, get the hype building. If I can keep up and do 2 that next year and make that happen, then I think that consistency would be huge and people would be like, oh shit, this is like really legit, not just making one and falling off, like really keeping it in front of people's faces of like, this is it, this is, I'm here kind of thing. So been trying to do with that. Got the second one out, so I'm working on my 3rd issue already to get it out in the fall to meet that quota of 2 a year.
So here's my next biggest question. So a magazine is created to market and promote the sport and products, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you look at it, now you have a December and you have a spring release, early summer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty weird. That's got to be hard as shit because the whole idea is people sell their most products September till December. You know, so you have this and then you do that. Like, do you have a idea of like why you release at what times you do? And I guess I asked you this the other day on the phone, you know, because I look at your magazine right now as more of an artwork than a story of what's happening in the sport currently. Like it looks timeless. So that's the compliment. You know, it looks like a coffee table book that's timeless for the sport in this year. But to learn and read what's happening, who the dope ass photographer is, who the dope ass skier is on the page, who has the bigger story, like who someone who's cool says cool things are. Like, do you have I don't know. I guess do you have a theory with it, like of where you want to go? Is it continue art, and that's your art thing, or because you're bringing community together, do you have future plans on doing more stuff that gives the photographer more love, puts more people on big pedestals? Because now you've created this thing that really is powerful. The only ski magazine in North America for our sport.
Yeah.
So, that's why I'm so interested in what you want, because I want to buy your next one.
Hell yeah. That makes me so hyped. But I don't know. It's definitely been something I've been when I made the first one, my vision was to make it more highlighted about the photos than necessarily information you're getting. So I did a lot of no captions and everything. But the thought process was just to like have it more be like an art piece more than an informational piece, you know. But I also want to be able to use it to tell stories, to shine light on writers who don't get it, you know, so people know their names and kind of thing. So I think
or movies or edits, man. Imagine if like 3 pages that you told me what the best edits were, and those were the only edits I Googled on YouTube. Like, you're the only source that can tell me. That's why I'm how much, and I'm just keep preaching it, because if you can really do that to all ages, that's how you really bring a community together. You say, hey, this is the best of the year, and it's opinionated, because best is impossible, right? But if you're like have a group idea of a generation like you do of what your opinion is the best, it really gives you the power, because right now it looks very confusing. Like, I don't know what's ill.
Yeah, it's a lot to like, I don't know, for the average consumer not necessarily knowing anything about it. We're picking up.
I'm not average, dude. I know the most shit in the sport of all time, and I just want to know more.
Yeah,
and that's why I keep digging at you, because I'm just like, man, you have so much information, man. You have so many connections. You have so many people that, like, I can give you 5 photographers in the Midwest when we hang up that can supply content. You know, it's just like, how easy is that? And they're just people I met at the B-Dog Off the Leash this spring. And then they take photos, and then they're like, no way, can I write too? And so it's so fun how many people are in this industry that have skill sets, but they have no idea how to use them or for who.
That's what also I've been learning too. Like, so many people, have the skill set and can do these kind of things, but no one's like pushing them to do it. And I think that's something I need to get better with the later issues of like pushing more information versus the mystery of photo, you know. Like, I need to, like you're saying, just have more in there, you know, give people more content to read about, tell people what's cool and what's not. Like, I think there is a missing of that in the industry, where not many people are stating their opinions like you're saying how you are, you know, like, this is what's good, this is what's not.
Like, so we used to have this Access magazine had a thing called Angry Army, and it was so awesome. It was written by Evan Rapps, and he'd just say like what he didn't like that was going on in skiing. So it wasn't even the magazine. It was just some fun character in our sport that had like people respected because of his skiing. But then they're like, I want to know what his opinion is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, just like, or like if you did a profile on Alex and there's a couple pages and you got to see what his car looked like. It was the biggest memory of Tanner. Tanner called me up. He's like, dude, you should see the car Alex drives, dude. I was like, how funny is that? Like, because I talk Tanner all the time, but it was like, we have preconceived notions of people from the minimal media that we get consume of people. And you get to be this hyper focused for what we all love. That's reality.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I want to take it to a place where, people can, get all this insight about their favorite rider or whatever, and like have it be something that people look forward to read and gain information from about the sport, But just, showing it in the right way, not overdoing it. Like Freeskier had it. They were doing it super well, I thought. I never got my hands on a freeze mag. I would love to see a freeze, but I also heard that like freeze mags were the truth back then.
Dude, you gotta go look at the archive. I got a whole archive.
You got the whole archive up. I need to tap into that. Yeah,
we got every single one of them.
Even the first 8 years, they only did a lifestyle shot of an athlete, right? Action shot, and that was their separator from the ski world media, because everyone else had an action shot on their cover. So they did a studio shot of a skier. So for the first 8 years, it was just like, you got to see the skier outside of ski clothes on the cover of a fucking magazine. That visual alone was like, what the fuck? I got to know who that person is. So it's the power of that. And then the photographer is doper because he got to shoot a studio shoot rather than the action shoot that he normally does. And the levels were just so raised, even though we didn't think it was that cool because we all wanted action shots on the cover back then. We're like, this stuff's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Looking back, it was necessary because we had freeze, we had powder, we had SBC skier, and we had a shitload of shit around the world. So now you're just like this awesome guy that just says, this is the only thing. It's crazy. Could you imagine making the only ski movie? No one else makes ski movies.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
That's what you're doing.
It's crazy. I never thought about it like that though. That's like I don't know. It just was like felt
because it's art. You're making art like the way you make authentic movies. You're making an authentic magazine and going as you flow. You didn't even write out a document that said whatever page was going to be, and then with like the description. Here's the reoccurring theme, 2 profiles, 1 contest review. Here's the product review page. Here's how many pages we need to sell for ads to make it a functioning magazine. You did none of this.
Yeah, I just freeballed it pretty much.
Like, it's so awesome. And so, what it does is it makes you, and this is the biggest lesson for anyone listening, it's like you just have to do it. Because otherwise you just think about what you didn't do. And so like this is like what fun position you forced yourself in today.
Yeah, and then there's no way to like, if you want to learn something, you got to just go do it. There's no way around it, kind of thing. So I wanted to learn how to make a magazine. I'm just gonna go make one, figure it out, kind of.
So anyone listening, hit up OSAP, fucking buy an ad. If you made it this far, what are we almost at 3 hours? Hell yeah, OSAP. It's going to be the best deal you'll ever get in the history because it'll be more expensive next year.
Yeah, I need photos too. It's got good photos. Send them my way.
Word. Ethan, this is the least you've ever talked.
I know, just letting you guys go at it. First of all, I think me and you need to take out a 2-page ad for the next one coming up to promote this show for the fall.
We really should. When's the next one come out?
It'll hopefully be released in October.
Right? So we could get
over half our shows.
That'd be perfect. Yeah. And
October.
Owen, this is something we were actually talking about with Tanner, like how Tanner was saying that skiing doesn't have a voice or like an editor of a magazine or like a content distributor that people respect. They care about their opinion. would you take Browser and do like a skier of the year sort of thing and like make it more of a cultural thing where Browser is like a cultural dictator, where it's not like a dictator as in like a ruler, but as in like it dictates what's cool and what's not? And would you take it that realm? Because that's what skateboarding's done forever, where people are like, fuck, I really care what they're saying in this magazine and I care who they're recognizing. Like, would you ever go down that route, or are you trying to stay more artistic?
I would love to. Yeah, like a big inspiration with it was like Thrasher, you know, just how skateboarding does it with Thrasher magazine and stuff, and like how people value that so much of, oh, I got an ad spread and the new Thrasher, you know, like, oh, they wrote this article about me, like this is what's.
You want to know why Thrasher is liked on? Is because of negative opinion.
Yeah.
That's why it's unique, different, and lasts forever, because they said this is whack. This is like stupid. That's not real. This is like, and so that's what I'm interested in this day and age, where it's like about not hurting people's feelings, because I just think it's, I don't know, it's like when you work as hard as you do, you deserve an opinion. When Alex works as hard as he does, he deserves an opinion. And it's very important what the hardest working people's opinion is, because whether they're right or wrong, whether you like Tanner or not, whether he makes right or wrong decisions, you still know he's the hardest working fucker you can ever meet. And that's all. And that's what aligns with everyone that's on this podcast. It's just hard work. And so, I don't know. I guess that's my thing. I just wanted to say that, because I think if you did go that realm, what I say, like to Ferdy too, I said with Street League, I'm like, man, just keep spreading. You guys are doing dope shit. Like, be the gatekeepers for the youth. Teach the youth what's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's not about saying you're not cool. It's about you saying this is cool. Because right now, no one's saying anything's cool, and everyone's really good at skiing.
Yeah, exactly. There's not enough of the voice with it, but I do think like eventually it'd be sick to get Browser to that level. But I do feel like say I gotta build it to get to there. You know, like it's not anything right now where someone's gonna listen to this and be like, or see the magazine and be, you know, maybe, but I gotta build it to get to that point where people will recognize, you know, oh, you got Skier of the Year for Browser, you know, kind of thing, or do some type of awards. I think would be awesome. Like Torment Mag, they also like, that's also another huge inspiration of mine behind this.
Is there a Skier of the Year right now? Like, does New Schoolers or Free Skier have one anymore?
New Schoolers does Skier of the Year, but it just seems like it's a joke now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Their opinion, it just seems like they're very skewed on what actually is happening.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. That's why I'm saying, once again, it's like no one's doing it, you know? And you have enough people that you're surrounded by that put in the work, that have a legitimate opinion, or people that you guys respect that are older, like that would give the proper opinion. You know, proper by meaning an individual opinion of someone who deserves it, that probably could be dead multiple times from the sport that they gave their life to. You know, that's legitimate. Those people can say if something, even if you disagree, they can still say something stupid.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's like, those are the people who should be saying something, you know, not like the other ones. Like,
yeah, because there's too many people that are talking that don't have shit to say.
Yeah, but I would be stoked to like try to get it there, but also it's different. I don't know. I'm back and forth with it of, do I want to keep it more artistically driven or more information? I think having a balance, I think, would be sweet to like keep it still like kind of this artistic feel, but then a lot of information just about the sport to bring the community together. Like, hopefully,
if you're doing one issue a year, man, your photo gallery of 20 to 30 pages can be your artistic layout, because they're focused on curating the next generation of photographers. That's not an advertisement. So like, you have that total possibility to put the coffee table book inside, where it's not like a photo annual, but it is, because maybe you only make one or two a year. So it's like, just so you know, you can keep the total artistic approach there through the people that you work with and the layout section that you put it in the whole thing, because then it benefits the people that are only a photographer skier. But imagine if you just had like a contest review and then you're like giving Jib League a little platform, you're giving Boberg session a little platform, you're giving the World Cup kids a little platform, you know, whether it's a page each. Like, dude, I'd love, I had a 1 year fucking yearbook on my sport that I love so much. And I gotta, like, even if it was stuff that I didn't care about so much, like I still gotta know it existed, because that's a lot of work put in by even stuff that I don't like. And they're still really good. But I don't know. Definitely. I'm just saying, you have so much outlets of awesome stuff to teach me about, because right now Google search engine's killing me. And I always have to think about like what I like or what I think I should like, and then I get lost. No one's telling me.
Yeah. And there's so many like events nowadays too, just like small events people are putting on, you know, just to like highlight that too, and like just show all aspects of skiing. I think would be sick to incorporate in it and grow it there, which I'm working to, like, I don't know, work with more people, because, you know, obviously I can't be in one place at all these different places. But yeah, if I can get people to be stoked, write a review, you know, do shit like that, I think is like the goal. And I know,
imagine like an 8-page spread on slush. Imagine an 8-page spread on from their whole season, right? How easy for dope photos from all their stops. 8-page on Jib League. Like, not only do you get cool quotes that keep it minimum to keep it artistic, so you don't even have to like tell a story, just quote people about experiences. I don't know. Just brainstorming on the podcast with you.
No, that's good, because I need it, because obviously, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just trying to figure it out. So it's nice. I love bouncing these ideas off of, like, you know, you and anyone else who's just stoked about it. Like, it makes me like realize, like, okay, I could take it this way, I could take it that way, you know, because I want it to also be an expression of like the community versus just an expression of me, you know, like have it be something that everyone can like chime in and put their thoughts on it to try to create it to be what skiing wants to be, kind of thing.
Because there's so many people creating. Like, how many photographers are shooting photos with no resource other than
exactly. Or some kid just writing, you know, like there's so many good people that write out there that never get the light of day. And it's like, I want to, and it seems like people want it too. Like, more and more people want to see that. They want to step away from Instagram. They want to see information in a different outlet, you know, than just your phone.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Ethan,
where did the name come from?
The name?
Yes.
I don't know. That was like the hardest part for me to figure out a name, because I was like, I don't know. I wanted something that felt right. But I guess my thought process on it was kind of like a runoff of, like, you know, your internet browser, you know, and that's where you go to like find all this information and everything, you know, like this could be the internet browser of skiing, like, you know, the browser of skiing, like this is a platform that the browser you go to, kind of thing, to watch it. So that's kind of like toying off of that idea of like internet browser and all that.
Well, it's kind of funny because it's like in the age of everything being digital and social media, it's a physical thing with the internet name, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's the worst searchable magazine name ever. If I type in magazine in my browser magazine will not appear. Just so you know, like, you are the most anti-fucking...
Make it as hard as possible for people to find it.
I gotta change that somehow. But yeah, I don't know. I also wanted it to like have some like mystery to it. I didn't want it just to be like the ski journal, you know,
chairlift magazine.
Yeah, like I didn't want just some basic. I wanted to have some like element of mystery of like yeah, like browser doesn't really have anything related to skiing at all, the name, but hopefully you can, people will start remembering as something in skiing. But just trying to do something different with it. I don't know. That was just like I wanted something that felt, I guess, cool, not just like a corny.
Are you gonna bring back Lifty of the Month?
Dude, yeah, that shit. I also really want to do like a comic too. As a comic, I think would be awesome to also like give an artist some highlight and then have like some funny like jokes about skiing that we all know. Like.
Let's make B-Dog the fucking comic series. I got the guy, man. We got fucking more comics coming out. Ties in. Make some exclusive shit with the artist.
That would be
B-Dog
so.
could interact with different characters in the skiing.
Yeah, just getting that and that would be sick. But yeah, the name really doesn't have a meaning. But besides that,
dude, you got to peruse through all the ones we archived. I texted you 2 links. One's like to just the Freeze magazines, and then one's for like the whole collection. Freeze is the only complete collection I have. But
dude, yeah, I got it. I'm definitely gonna fiddle through that.
Go through, and you're gonna be. Luckily, people don't have a ton of time to go through it, but there is some stuff that would definitely not fly today at all.
All I can say is if you got the Realskier with JF Kusan on the cover as King, fucking read his interview. Like, you'd be canceled so fast. It's so fucking awesome. Like, I've never heard so many slurs used. It's like, it was just a great time. You were like, it'd be the worst thing ever. All these ski magazines from the early 2000s. It's just like manpower. It's fucking everything. Even Christy and Sarah were like 18 years old when Realskier like cut their shirts lower to show their titties. Yeah. On the cover of the magazine.
Yeah, on the cover. Yeah, it's definitely a different age now. Not as much will fly. But yeah, there's some funny stuff in those older magazines.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Skis magazine? K2's magazine?
No.
So they did it. It was a spoof of Freeze, but it was only K2 athletes. Fucking awesome. So Rory did spoof ads that made fun of all the different ski industry magazine ads that were so horrible. Like Rory Silva, it's just awesome. But we should try to find this magazine, Skis.
Yeah, this sounds sick.
Steez, Steeze. K2 Steez.
Yeah.
If anyone's got magazines, I'm putting this out there because I haven't put it out in a while. Hit me up. I'll pay for shipping and I'll digitize them again because I haven't done it in like 2 years. But yeah, like if you got those old Japanese magazines we were talking about with Crichton, or you got this K2 parody magazine, send them my way. I'll pay for the shipping. It's
So I got just so you know, got a lot of boxes of magazines.
Oh Jesus, Iberg.
So if you want, I got some skiing magazines from the late 80s through 90s that just suck.
Yeah, let me know.
But I'm just I'm like looking at them. I'm like, these are so shitty.
Yeah.
I hated them when I was a kid and I hate them now.
But they're important to preserve because it's like even if it was whack culture, it was the culture at the time. And it's like those.
They're in mint condition. All the worst ski magazines you've ever looked at.
That's crazy. And
they're like 400 pages thick, dog.
Yeah, well, it's like 250 pages of ads.
When ads were dope, it was worth it. Like at the beginning, like with Freeze and Freeze, even especially with Realskier, because the ads were almost doper than the magazine at the beginning.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I don't know, there was just more time put into it, and that'll be fun too to see the evolution in your magazine. To see the effort people put in, because I see everything is like dumbing down in society. So I saw that with the ads, and so like it's just kind of fun to see how you think you should market to youth on a platform of a medium of print that they've never done before. It's very fun to watch.
Yeah,
because it's totally weird. Like I can tell the lack of effort from colors. How many people were involved in the layouts, like what was supplied, how it was used. And I'm just like, man, okay, I get it. But I'm going to give you the shittiest ad up with a PFD you ever seen. Money.
I got one more thing before we let Owen go surfing. And I don't know if you knew this about Owen, but he got hired by Level 1 this past season because they're making their annual film again. So Owen's making real deal filmer money on top of all this shit now. So Owen, you want to speak on that at all? Because it's kind of sick.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's like, dude, it's been such a dream job, watching like Refresh back in the day growing up. Like, dude, always have loved the Level 1 videos. So I'm so stoked to be working with them on a video for like, it's like they want to do a 25th anniversary film. So it's not like their big full length they've done in the past where it's an hour, it's on iTunes. It's going to be like 25-30 minutes, put it on YouTube, simple stuff like that. But yeah, super hyped to be a part of it. I was just filming the whole street side of it, and then there was a POW crew as well, so it'd be street and POW. But yeah, starting to edit that. I got a lot of work ahead of myself, but
How do you get that job?
What?
How did you get that job?
So they reached out to me. Yeah, Connor Smith just reached out to me because I think they wanted Brady to do it, but Brady didn't want to. And then I guess I was just like kind of next on the list. Or no, they tried to get Gavin to do it as well, I believe. But Gavin, Rudy.
And this is a filmer / editor role for the project?
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, they brought me on, like to film the urban stuff, but then also edit the whole thing. So that was kind of the deal breaker for me because I'm like, I love editing. So I was really hyped to hear they wanted me to edit as well.
So your movie is the Level 1 movie that's going on tour this fall.
Yeah, I guess so. It's
Nice work, bud. Not bad. Fucking 5 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
And they're making you're not making Magma 4, but you're making another movie with the Magma guys as well.
Yep, we did film another Magma video, but it's going to be shorter. We only filmed for 2.5 weeks in Europe. So it's not the full extent of our past videos. So that's why we kind of wanted to name it something different and give it a different feel. But yeah, there will be a Magma video coming out in the fall, which I'm pretty stoked about. We hit a lot of good spots.
This show will come out mid-November.
Sick. So yeah, right around the time this will drop probably.
Awesome. And then at this time too, the Level 1 movie's out?
Yeah, the Level 1 video will be out.
Do you have a name of that?
Yeah, we're going to call it Wasteland.
Nice.
Yeah, Wasteland. That's the movie.
Where did you guys shoot for that since it's already out at this point?
Yeah, we shot in Finland. And yeah, we did 2 months in Finland. And then we also went on a trip to Newfoundland, St. John. So that was crazy. Newfoundland was sick. Like way the fuck up there. It was wild.
Who did the spots? Did you just go and look for spots or how did you research?
Yeah, for the Newfoundland trip, I did a bunch of research. I've heard rumors of snowboarders going there and then did a lot of research and found out like a bunch of snowboard films were filmed up there, some K2 videos, like shit like that. And so then I was like, oh, I saw some spots and was like, okay, started Google Earthing, found a shit ton and was like, all right, we gotta go. But it's like a $2,000 plane ticket up there. It's crazy. So we really had to like sell it to Level 1 to send us up there because they were like, nah, just go to Quebec, like go to Canada, there's snow there. And I was like, yeah, but we could go to Newfoundland. Like,
no one got Newfoundland. He's like, here's why no one goes to Newfoundland.
Yeah, it's fucking expensive, but really cool town. And yeah, we got a bunch of good shots right before it all melted. There was a good amount of snow there. But Finland's the truth. I fucking love Finland. Helsinki and everything out there. It's just great.
Minnesota before?
Yeah, Minnesota, it's good. You think Minnesota's good. Finland, next level.
Makes sense.
This is the second episode in a row we're talking about this Iberg.
I brought it up, Phil. I brought it up with the idea like I was blown away in the first 10 years of the sport.
We're
People would
talking
all
about
go
this
to
with Yuna.
Finland. No one came to Minnesota until like 2010 and on.
We were talking about this with Yuna.
Yeah, and
Yuna.
I was blown away that like everyone like spent so much money going to Finland. I was like, dude, like drive to Minnesota. It's pretty good enough.
Yeah.
No one did that. They're spending the money.
Yeah, everyone wants to go to Finland. It was crazy how many people were there this year. I felt like everyone came there.
As you said, it's the spot. Must be
It's
good
the
for a
hub
reason.
right now.
20 years.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Should we do a couple random questions? I got a random question for Owen.
Go.
Because I brought it up earlier. Owen, didn't you like not eat vegetables until you were in your 20s? maybe even your mid 20s.
I wouldn't say I didn't eat vegetables, but I was pretty bad. I had a pretty bad diet in those early 20 years of my life. Definitely would not eat many vegetables. A lot of corned beef hash.
What's your most recent vegetable discovery that you like them?
Oh, recently? Dude, baked Brussels sprouts. That shit's insane. You cook them right in the oven, dude. They're all crispy and shit. Oh, I love a good baked Brussels, but yeah, trying to expand my palate.
Iberg, you got anything random for him?
No, should I give them the fucking old school, new school list?
I don't know. Owen, do you know a lot of old skiers, or should we just keep it with the new name? I think he might be a new name type of guy, but he might surprise me.
Come on, try with your history of older names.
Yeah, try me. I know some.
Right.
So Phil Cassabon got all bummed when like I told him I didn't have a reoccurring theme for this podcast. And so he's like, oh man, like you gotta have like a challenge where it's like this guy or that guy. And I was like, dope. But normally, like, why he concepted this, because my favorite podcast called Drink Champs, they do this. And then you have to pick your favorite rapper. And then whoever, like, why do they have to drink? Oh, if you don't want to pick one of your favorites, then you have to drink. So it forces you to pick one. So we don't have any consequences for you. So it doesn't work. We'll try. This is Phil Cassabon's list. Mango or pep?
Oh man, I'm gonna say Pep because, dude, Pep was like the original. Like, I don't know, but Mango's definitely I don't know if I could even.
I got to pick one, or you have to drink.
No, I'm gonna stick with Pep. Just because.
All right, this next one is going to be hard for you then because of this one, the last one I saw. Alex Hall or Tanner Hall?
That is.
Who's doper?
Oh, fuck, dude. I might have to go with T Hall.
Birdie or David Crichton?
Oh, Ferdy. But David Crichton's definitely up there.
Yuna or Vanular?
Fuck, that one's tough, man. Definitely Vanular.
Quinn Wolferman or Sammy Carlson?
Sammy.
Ed Joy or TJ Schiller?
Oh, I'm gonna say Ed Joy.
Auntie Olila or Adam DeLorme?
God, these are tough matchups. Dude.
Yeah, it's Phil Cassabon.
Oh man, Phil's on it. I gotta say, it was Auntie and
Adam DeLorme.
Adam DeLorme for sure.
All right, Danny B or Mikel Dishno?
Oh. Danny B.
Unicorn or Yoon Olsen?
I'm gonna go with the unicorn.
Oh. Tour mode or Duncan Adams?
Tour mod for sure.
Olivia or Maud?
Oh. I'm gonna go Olivia.
Hunter Hess or Phil Belanger?
Hunter.
Mikkel BK or Mike Hornbeck?
Oh, Mike Hornbeck all day.
That's the list.
Damn, that's a tough matchup on all of those.
You did great, Owen, dude. You knew everyone.
Yeah, nice work.
Well done. Well done. All right, man. That's all we got. Go surfing now.
Sick.
Hours, man. We did it.
Hell yeah. Thanks for having me on. I was stoked to chat it up with you guys. Always
Yeah,
good.
man. Thank you for being here. Good luck with everything. Stoked to fucking watch level 1. Stoked to watch what else do you say you got this fall? Level 1 and
Magma video.
Magma video. New
And
browser.
issue 3 of browser.
Yeah.
Big fall.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Beautiful. All right, man. Get out of here.
Hey.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys later.
Peace out, dude. Thank you.
Peace.
That was
Another one. The quietest you've ever been.
Dude, it was good. Like, yeah, I already knew so much about Owen that it was fun just like sit back and watch you put together the puzzle. It was cool.
Yep, I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah. I think there's so much potential with browser. He could take that any direction he wants.
Zero competition.
Zero.
Like, think about how fun that, if he's been able to already make 2 of them, like, why can't he make a 3rd one?
Yeah. So sick. We'll definitely throw an ad in there. We'll have to brainstorm something funny. It's got to be a 2-pager. One for the
Fuck
old.
yeah, let's take
old head.
ads to the next level and spend that $200.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So, who do we have next week? I think
Christians.
I think we got Josh Christensen, and should be good.
Try to do it later than today.
Yeah, I think Owen was bouncing us around so he could go hit the waves at lunchtime.
That's fine. I'm fucking beat. I gotta go to the post office, fucking do emails. No, it's only 2, but after a 40, it feels like it's 4.
Yes. All right, we'll do it later. All right, boom. Josh, next week for everybody. Thank everyone for listening. Iberg, good talking to you as always.
Yeah, man. We'll see you next week.
Peace out.
Have a good day. Ciao.
See ya.